Welcome to the NCAA Baseball Regionals, presented by Capital One. Today from Aggieland, in the home of the 12th man, we bring you NCAA Regional Baseball. The Lamar Cardinals out of the Southland Conference, the Texas A&M Aggies out of the SEC in Game 1 of the College Station Regional. Bluebell Park in the shadow of Kyle Field, filling up and standing tall on this Friday afternoon. You see the bracket here in College Station. Texas A&M and Lamar playing in game number 1. Coming up later tonight, the 2 seed Southern Cal out of the Big Ten, along with Texas State from the Sun Belt Conference. And with that, we welcome you to Bluebell Park in College Station, Texas, alongside former All-American and 12-year big leaguer Todd Walker. I'm Richard Cross. Glad to have you along. Todd, you've got plenty of postseason experience from your time in college baseball at LSU. This is such a fun time of year.
It really is. I mean, I'm excited to be here now, but I think back in the early 90s when we had 3 regionals in Baton Rouge, and it's creating memories that you'll remember forever. I'm old now, but I still remember those times in Baton Rouge, and it's special, special time right now.
In this first matchup, we're going to see Texas A&M's offense on display. It's an offense that has been good all season long, especially at the top of the order.
Yeah, the nine runs per game is silly for this Texas A&M offense. Now, we know the ball flies here at Bluebell, but 114 home runs is 6th in the country. The slugging percentage off the charts for this Texas A&M. And like you mentioned, the top 2 hitters in this lineup, Sorrell and Grahovac, have been outstanding. You add Chris Hakopian, the 3-hole to that lineup. 51 home runs between the top 3 hitters.
It's been a long journey for Lamar to get to this point. They had to win a double elimination bracket tournament and then win 2 out of 3. They are red hot.
Yeah, they lost the first game of the Southland Conference tournament to Stephen F. Austin. And then since then have won 6 straight to earn the title and be here today. Will Davis has his group playing well right now.
Excited to be here in College Station, playing in a regional for the 14th time, the 13th time in the state of Texas. The NCAA Baseball Regionals are presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet? Back in College Station, Texas, just about time for the start of the College Station Regional as Bluebell Park continues to fill up, and Shane Sadeo takes the mound as the Game 1 starter for Texas A&M, taking on a Lamar team coached by Will Davis. He's in his 10th season as the head coach at Lamar, 289 career victories. And whenever this season comes to an end, his time at Lamar is going to come to an end. They've gotten back to the NCAA tournament for the first time since 2010. Will Davis has already been named the next head coach at the University of Houston. He told us yesterday that is on the horizon, but the focus right now is exclusively on the Lamar Cardinals and getting ready for this ball game. Tab Tracy to lead things off. A.J. Taylor batting in the 3-hole leads this team with 7 home runs and 32 runs batted in. It is time for baseball.
9 seniors in this lineup. Jake Wagner, the only junior, including the pitcher on the mound today for Lamar. Upperclassmen.
A lot of experience, 6 wins in a row, and Shane Sadeo's first pitch is in for a strike. We are underway at Olson Field at Bluebell Park. Beautiful afternoon temperature, right around 90 degrees. Feels like 96 here in College Station. And it's quickly 0-2 to Tab Tracy leading things off. He's got 74 hits and is riding a 7-game hit streak coming into this opening game of the College Station Regional. Check swing, he's able to hold up. Jake Uhlenhop is our home plate umpire today. You just saw Tim Winningham at third base, John Budko over at first base, Joe Harris on the edge of the outfield grass, just beyond the second base bag. All in 2 strikes. This one blocked by Harrison behind home plate, and Sadeo, a little bit of a slip there.
Yeah, just kind of slipped off of his lead foot there, and that's not good.
2-2 pitch. This one's chopped right side. Sadeo comes off the mound. Royo, he'll try to flip it to first. Over the head of the first baseman, Grahovac, and Tab Tracy will go into second without a throw. Just a swinging bunt there from Tab Tracy, and the Cardinals have the leadoff man in scoring position.
Yeah, Royo, remember, taking the place of Chris Lacopian at second base, and I don't know that he could have transferred this. He either had to flip it with his glove or barehanded. He chooses to use the glove, and sometimes that'll get stuck in the web of the glove as you're trying to shovel it over to first, and clearly gets over the head of Grahovac at first, and good start for Lamar.
Making an 8-game hit streak now for Tab Tracy as he stands out at second base. An infield single and then an error. And so right out of the gate, Lamar trying to make their presence felt. There's a first pitch strike to Bo Durbin, the designated hitter. Batting in the 2-hole, he has been on base safely in 12 consecutive ball games, hitting .294 on the year. Strike there, and it is 0-2 once again. Shane Sadeo, the 4th-year junior, 4-4 on the year. ERA up around 7, 78 strikeouts, 19 walks on the season.
Numbers are not great for Sadeo, but he is going to be around the plate. The strikeout to walk ratio is good. He's had flashes of being great. March 20th against Georgia in that high-powered offense. He struck out 11, pitched Texas A&M into the 6th inning, had 10 strikeouts versus Vandy in week 4 of the conference schedule. So he has been good. Can he be the best version of himself today?
Sadeo missed most of last year, took a red shirt after a season-ending injury. He was preseason 3rd-team All-American coming into this year. Rewind back to summer of 2024. He was an invitee to the USA Collegiate National Team training camp. And he gets a swing and a miss for a first strikeout of the ball game. 1 down here in the top of the first.
Huge strikeout for Shane Sadeo and Texas A&M. The idea of the hitter is to hit the ball on the ground to the right side, move that runner from second over to third with less than 2 outs. Bo Durbin can't do it. That's Shane Sadeo's out pitch against left-handed hitters, that slider. And you're going to see a lot of that. 94 with the fastball. He throws more change-ups and curveball action to right-handed hitters.
One out with a runner on second with A.J. Taylor at the plate. The shortstop batting in the 3-hole takes strike one. Cedillo has gotten ahead of all three hitters.
Well, he can throw strikes. That hasn't been the problem. The problem is keeping the ball up in the zone and getting hit around. If the break on the curveball doesn't have any bite to it, then he leaves the ball up, and his problem is giving up home runs here in this ballpark, which we've already talked about is playing light today with the wind blowing straight out.
Just 38 home runs on the season for this Lamar team. Talked with Will Davis about whether or not the offensive approach might be a little bit different for Lamar in this ball game than perhaps it would be in their ballpark, which plays huge. Up and out of the zone for ball one.
Yeah, we talked to Will Davis about his run through the Southland, which we just talked about. They had won 6 in a row, but it was in Beaumont. It was at their own home ballpark, and Will Davis said, I know my ballpark better than anybody, and they did bunt and move guys around, and because of that, they're here today.
On the ground, up the middle, that's a base hit. Tap Tracy hits the bag at third. He's going to come around to score, and Lamar takes a 1-0 lead here in the top of the first on an RBI single from A.J. Taylor, his 33rd driven in of the year.
Good sign to have Lamar get off to a big start. These are 18, 19, 20-year-old impressionable kids, and they react to a lead. And even if it's the top of the first, that's a huge first run for Lamar here at Aggieland.
I asked Will Davis yesterday if he liked the demeanor that his ball club had, and he said, yes, I think so. He told us that he thought maybe they were a little too loose. They had the high of winning the conference tournament, taking 2 of 3, really doing it in 2 games against McNeese State. And he said, I wondered if maybe they were a little too loose, but felt like they reined it back in yesterday and were focused on the task at hand.
Well, you've got an older group, and I think they can control their emotions well. This guy at the plate right now, Jake Wagner, is the only non-senior in this lineup. And he was an all-tournament performer last week, 13 for 24 with a 6-game hit streak, so he's got to be careful here.
Wagner, the catcher, another throw to first. That's a couple of tosses over, keeping an eye on A.J. Taylor, who has 11 stolen bases in 12 attempts this year. See Wagner, Texas native from Cedar Park. The junior catcher waiting on the 0-1. And he takes a strike on the inside corner fastball in there. It's 0-2. And again, Cedillo ahead in the count, but to your point a moment ago, maybe too much of the plate with the pitch to A.J. Taylor a moment ago. This went up and out of the zone.
Well, it's okay to catch the plate. You just got to keep it at the knees. Got to keep it low. And for Shane Cedillo, the problem has been up in the zone.
1-0 lead on the RBI single from Taylor. The 1-2 to Wagner. Swing and a miss. Second strikeout here in the top of the first for Cedillo.
But when you show that you can land that curveball for a strike, that fastball works, especially elevated. It's closer to your eyes as a hitter, and so it looks so good. But when it's got any velocity behind it, it's hard to catch up to, and blows it right by Jake Wagner.
So Cedillo about to make his 19th pitch of the inning. Trying to get out of it with no more damage, facing Hector Rodriguez. And he drops in the curveball for strike one.
60 seconds.
Rodriguez has hit safely in 5 in a row, hitting .529 over that 5-game hitting streak. The senior from Houston. Cedillo lefty with a pretty decent move over to first base. See if 2 outs in the inning. Taylor tries to sneak his way to second. This one fouled straight back, and it's 0-2.
All the lefties have a pretty decent move to first base, right? What you can watch with Shane Cedillo is his right knee. If it crosses over his left leg, then he's going to the plate. If he pulls it straight up, he's coming to you at first base as a runner. And so that's what you're watching for if you're A.J. Taylor at first base.
The 0-2, but first another throw to first, and Cedillo continues to keep a close eye on A.J. Taylor. Lamar coming in 34-25 on the year. They had 19 wins in the Southland, finished second in their league. In the air, out to right field. Wilson to the warning track, and you see the ball carrying. He makes the catch a step deep. Lamar with a couple of hits in the top of the first inning. They put a run on the board, and they take the early lead over the Aggies, who come to the plate next. Aggie fans excited to see their team come to the plate, trailing 1-0 after an infield single and an error put a runner in scoring position. A.J. Taylor with an RBI single, and Lamar leads it 1-0. Michael Early looking on, happy to be back in his ballpark in the postseason after being the preseason #1 team a year ago and not making it to regional play. The Aggies glad to be at Bluebell Park. Those top three in the order, scary for all opponents. Gavin Grahovac, Caden Sorrell, Chris Hakopian. As good a 1-2-3 as you'll find in college baseball.
All three could potentially be first-round draft picks this July in the Major League Draft. Gavin Grahovac, Sorrell, and Hakopian combined 51 home runs. And Bear Harrison there in the middle of that order also can handle the bat.
On the mound today to deal with this Aggies offense is Chris Olivier. He's 6'1", and that is not a misprint, just 150 pounds, 7-4 on the year with a 2.66 ERA. Pitched twice in the conference tournament and was outstanding. Went 2-0 with a sub-1.3 ERA.
Yeah, and his last outing in the tournament went 8, struck out 7 against McNeese. He's a big game pitcher. 14 starts at Lamar last year. This will be a 16th start of the year for Lamar. Low 90s fastball, four-seamer. His primary pitch to right-handed hitters is a slider, so he'll use the slider more than the fastball. And then you got the traditional curveball change to left-handers. Equally good against left-handed hitters and right-handed hitters, both hitting under 200.
And he starts off with the junior from Orange County, California, Gavin Grahovac. 19 home runs, 71 driven in on the year, hitting .344. And he takes high for ball one. Lamar got a run in the top of the first inning. Texas A&M looking to answer that. It is an offense that has been good all season long. We told you earlier, averaging 9 runs per game here at Bluebell. Grahovac couldn't hold up, and he's asking why there was not an appeal to the first base umpire. It was the home plate umpire, Jake Uhlenhop, who made the call himself.
I never liked that. You got to help down the line. Go ahead and ask. He did not go right there. And so for me, yeah, I was always mystified when the home plate umpire felt the need to call that check swing.
2 balls and a strike to Gavin Grahovac in the leadoff spot for Texas A&M. 39-13 on the year. Big swing and a miss up top there. Aggies won 18 games in the SEC, 18-11.
They won 6 series out of the 10. And the third best team in the SEC got into the tournament last week as a 3 seed, lost the first game. The question mark for Texas is the pitching staff. Aiden Sims, will he be back to pitch if they win today, tomorrow in the 1-0 game? But the offense is not a question. I mean, they bash it as good as anybody in the country.
Full count to Grahovac. And he takes inside, and that is a leadoff walk.
Chalk that up to a little bit of nerves for Chris Olivier. And you do have to be careful navigate through these, especially the top 3, but this entire Aggie lineup. But the main thing is throwing strikes.
Caden Sorrell now stepping to the plate, the junior from Highland Village, Texas. What a season he has had. 23 home runs. He's driven in 74. Just outside the top 10 in all of college baseball with those numbers. And he takes a first pitch strike, off speed there from Olivier. Hits this one high into the air, shallow left field. Evans coming in and makes the catch for the first out of the inning.
The Aggies aren't really active on the bases. I mean, Caden Sorrell, who just got out, is the only double-digit stolen base guy in the lineup. They go station to station. They're looking for that 3-run homer, and just about anybody in this lineup can give it to them.
53 out of 62 on the base paths this year. Chris Akopian was the second baseman. Had a collision with the right fielder on a ball where he was going out to try and make the catch, and has been in the DH role since. They are certainly glad that they've got him in the lineup, and Michael Early says when the season is over, he just needs 3 or 4 weeks to rest to completely heal. Akopian pops this one to shallow right. Valentine coming in, and he'll make the catch for the second out of the inning. So a runner at first with 2 down. This was the play with Chris Akopian. Joyan Wilson, the right fielder, not a small guy, and they just got tied up.
The only guy who has a chance in that play is the right fielder, because he's got the other position player in front of him. I played second base, and that happened to me a few times, but second baseman's just got his eye on the ball, and he doesn't know what's coming, and that was a rough collision there for Chris Akopian, who is DH since. And that DH position is a different beast versus being on the field. You don't really feel like you're part of the game, so he's having to adjust.
Jake Dewar here from the left side. That pitch just missed for ball 1 to Dewar. Dewar hitting .295 on the year from Flower Mound, Texas. Batting with a runner at first and 2 down in the inning. On the ground right side, that's out into right field for a base hit. Grahovac hits the bag at second. He'll cruise into third base with a feet first slide, and the Aggies have runners at the corners with 2 down. Now looking for a 2-out base hit to try and get a run on the board.
Pretty good little hit there. Benton holding the runner on, gives the hole up, and Jake Dewar just pops it through the right side with 2 outs. They got runners on the corners, and it feels like this is going to be that type of day. Just a lot of traffic on the bases, and right now for Lamar, trying to hold on to that 1-0 lead.
Nice round of applause for this guy, Nico Partita. They are glad to have him back in the lineup and back at third base. And Partita takes a first pitch strike. Really like the future for this freshman from Manville, Texas. Partita, 6 feet, 195 pounds, plays an outstanding third base. Double-digit home runs with 12 on the year.
With this talented offense, they still have 3 freshmen mixed in. Partita is one of them. Joyan Wilson hitting out of the 7 spot, and then in the 9, Boston Kellner holding down the shortstop position. So good mix for this Aggie lineup.
Partita takes there in the dirt. Good job by Wagner keeping that one close.
Great job by Wagner, because as a pitcher for Olivier, you got to trust that your catcher is going to be able to hold that runner at third. And if you don't, then that eliminates a pitch on a swing and miss. And so then you're reduced to basically elevating a curveball or throwing the fastball. So the idea that a pitcher can trust his catcher in this situation is huge.
One to Partita. Swing and a miss, tied him up inside there. The over 325 with runners in scoring position. He's got Grahovic at third and Jake Dewar at first, who got the 2-out single.
It's hard to sit for 3 weeks. There's no minor leagues in the college level, so all you get is
no rehab assignment.
Yeah, you just get those days where nobody's in the ballpark and you just have these dry at bats with nobody watching except the coaches, and the timing is still difficult. When you get in a game, it's a much different deal, and he's been out for 3 weeks.
There goes the runner, and this ball lifted into the air out into center field. Tracy on the run. He'll get to the warning track and make the catch. That one carried for a while out toward the 400-foot mark in center field. 1-0, Lamar in front after an inning. Back with you in College Station, Texas. We go to the second inning. Lamar with a 1-0 lead over Texas A&M. We have already seen upsets today as we kind of bounce around the country. Southern Miss falling to Little Rock in Hattiesburg 7-4. Southern Miss was the number 9 seed. Little Rock got 4 runs in the top of the 9th inning to come from behind and win that. How about Georgia Tech hanging 22 on UIC in their opening round game? That offense can swing it.
360 as a group. I mean, that's unheard of. Georgia Tech with those superstars on that team. Wow, what a year they've had.
This ball lined out to right field where Wilson will reach up and make the grab. Couple of steps moving to his right. Braden Benton retired for the first out of the inning here in the second. Florida was cruising. Gators were up 4-0 in that ball game. And then it was 4-4. Ryder hit a 2-strike, 2-out, top of the 9th grand slam. Ended up being a 7-7 game, and Florida able to come back and get the victory. That would not have been a good start to the Gainesville Regional for the Gators, who are playing good baseball right now.
Good to see them come from behind and win. They had last week they had Georgia 6-0 after 3, ended up losing that game. So they're accustomed to being ahead and having the other team come back, but they were survived today.
High fly ball to deep center field, but Sorrell plenty of room and plenty of time to make the catch. Second out of the inning. That will bring Braden Evans to the plate, the 8-hole hitter. That's 4 in a row now retired by Sadeo after the RBI single back in the top of the first that gave Lamar a 1-0 lead. Left-handed hitter, and Texas A&M shifting defensively. Evans swings through that fastball for strike 1. Couple of hits in the top of the first inning for Lamar.
3 left-handed hitters in this Lamar lineup. They actually hit Sadeo better, left-handers at 316 than right-handers do.
There's a strike, and it's 1-2. Thank you, Roy. We welcome you to College Station, Texas, where Shane Sadeo has a 1-2-3 top of the second inning. We are at Olson Field at Bluebell Park alongside Todd Walker. I'm Richard Cross. Thanks for joining us on a beautiful Friday afternoon, but it is hot. 90 degrees, feels like 96, maybe 97. Aggie fans not really worried about that. A little bit of a late arriving crowd, but they have filled up Bluebell Park. Our bracket here in College Station, Texas A&M is the 1 seed playing Lamar in this opening ball game. Coming up later tonight, number 2 USC, or the number 2 seed in this region out of the Big Ten, taking on Texas State out of the Sun Belt. We're glad to have you along on this Friday as regional baseball begins. Alongside the former All-American Todd Walker, who played 12 years in the big leagues, I'm Richard Cross, and it's a great time of the year and a fun matchup here, especially with what we've seen all year long from Texas A&M offensively.
They're one of the best offenses in the country, and you mentioned the heat today. Well, the ball's going to fly here this weekend in this regional. Winds blowing straight out. Texas A&M averages 9 runs a game, which is off the charts, and of course the home runs and everything else to go with it. Top 3 guys in this order are going to be high draft picks this July in the Major League Draft for the Aggies. And on the other side, Lamar's won 6 in a row, so they're playing as good as they can play.
Lamar winners out of the Southland Conference. They had bracket play, 2 4-team brackets, double elimination, and then the winners of each bracket met for a best-of-3 series. After losing their very first game in bracket play, they reeled off 6 in a row, including a pair of wins against McNeese to advance with the automatic berth out of the Southland Conference. And now they get to come to the place where they saw them off.
Yeah, well, the greatest thing about that is they lost the very first game of the Southland tournament. And you have to win that tournament, get the automatic bid to get in there if you're in the Southland Conference. That's kind of been the history. But look at these guys already early in this game, and we're already dancing.
It was hot, and so they waited just for a moment to get to the ballpark. But by the time we got to first pitch, Bluebell Park filled to capacity, one of the great settings in all of college baseball. The traditions at Texas A&M perhaps unmatched by any in college athletics. Aggies, though, find themselves trailing 1-0, and they've got a leadoff man on base. Bear Harrison hit by the pitch, and the catcher will trot down to first. Lead things off here in the bottom of the second inning.
It's not a good sign if you're Will Davis or Jace Hutchins, coach over there at Lamar. Clearly, Olivier not trying to go even inside. So when you're missing that much with your fastball, Olivier's going to have to dial it in pretty quickly, because we've talked about this offense and start giving away free passes. It's going to be tough.
Jorian Wilson, one of 3 freshman starters in the lineup for Texas A&M, takes strike 1. Just a freshman, but a grown man playing in right field. He fills up that left-handed batter's box, and it's been a good first campaign for him. 12 home runs, 32 driven in. Curveball hung a little bit. He was out in front, ripped it foul, and is quickly behind in the count. No balls and 2 strikes.
Richard, you're not kidding. 6'4", 240 from this freshman. They have 3 freshmen in the lineup. Do the Texas A&M Aggies, along with 4 potential high draft picks this July in the Major League Draft. So a good mix for the Aggies.
You hit 12 bombs and nearly 300. You start every day. There's a really good chance you're going to be freshman All-SEC, and that was the case for Jorian Wilson. Trying to do something here with 2 strikes, and he lays off the fastball just off the plate. Lamar struck first with an infield single and an error, and then an RBI single from A.J. Taylor. That was in the top of the first inning. A&M had a couple of base runners in the bottom of the first, and have the leadoff man on here, and the count goes to 2-2 on Jorian Wilson.
They have Jorian in the shift, so they've got 3 infielders to the right side of the bag, and our point yesterday when talking about the shift is you've got to pitch to it. So you're really reduced to off speed and fastballs away. If he comes inside, Jorian looking off speed would be late, and he'd hit it to left field. So you have to pitch to this shift.
They get a ground ball in the right side to second for 1, to first, not in time for the double play. Wilson makes a turn, but he's going to stay there at first base. A little late on the reaction there from Jorian Wilson. He does, though, beat out the double play.
Pretty special by Durant at second base. I mean, catches a weird hop, has to do a 180 to get to second, picks up the target, accurate throw, and Taylor just tries to hurry, not able to be picked by Benton at first base, but pretty nice job getting the lead runner for Lamar.
Eight-hole hitter Ben Royo to the plate for Texas A&M. You go through 4 non-conference weekends and then 10 weeks of conference play, or at least that's the way it sets up for Texas A&M. And you feel like by the time you get to week 13, you kind of know what your team is and who your contributors are. And then an injury strikes, and that happened when Texas A&M was in Oxford taking on Ole Miss. This guy stepped in, Ben Royo, in a doubleheader on Saturday. He went 7 for 7 with 3 home runs, and 6 of his 7 hits came with 2 strikes in the at-bat. Flies out to center there for the second out of the inning.
Well, and he's been around. He was here at A&M last year, hit 258 with 10, and you're right, he's put in the lineup because Chris Hakopian went down with the injury into the DH role, so Royo inserted at second base. Been red hot, 483 with the 3 home runs, and had a play earlier in this game where he had to glove it and flip it over to first, flipped it over the first baseman's head. So already an error in this game, and we'll see how that plays out. But Royo has been fantastic for the Aggies.
9-hole hitter Boston Kellner, another one of the freshmen in the lineup. He's got the face guard that you see on his batting helmet. He was the injury that forced Ben Royo into the lineup. Had a ball that was up and in, hit kind of the brim of his helmet and got just outside his eye. Had an orbital bone issue. They ran him through concussion protocol. He cleared everything. He hits this one high down the right field line, and it's the right fielder Valentine with a long run to make the catch and end the inning. Aggies strand another base runner. Coming up next, Michael Early, the head coach of the Aggies, will join us. His team hosting here in College Station. Lead over Texas A&M as we go to the top of the 3rd inning alongside Todd Walker. Richard Cross, glad to be with you. The Aggies thrilled to be at home. Michael Early in his 2nd year as the head coach here in College Station. How much fun is this to be in your home ballpark hosting a regional this weekend?
It's great. It's great to always play in front of our home fans. We love playing on our field, so it's an honor to always play here.
Mike, you got Shane Sadeo out there starting game 1. What went into the decision to starting him, and what have you seen from him so far?
Yeah, I thought he's been good. I mean, we didn't make a play for him, but other than that, he's been good. And just we like the matchup. Just you look at your guys, you look at the other team, and we thought in this game he gave us the best chance to win.
Michael, we appreciate your time.
Thank you, guys.
Good to be with you. Good to be here in College Station this weekend. Got a 1-0 game as we go to the top of the 3rd. Lamar struck first, and they lead it 1-0.
Michael Early's battled a lot. They were the preseason #1 team in the country last year.
Yep.
Had some injuries. Grahovac went down and battled through that. You know, the high expectations. Come back this year, added some parts, including Chris Hakopian from Maryland, and all of a sudden find themselves in this regional. So, and only in his 2nd year, feels like he's building this program. It's always been great, but to come back from what happened last year to this year has been special.
Another one of those injuries that they dealt with a year ago was the guy on the mound today, Shane Sadeo, who had the season-ending injury, ended up redshirting a year ago. Kevin Duran, the 9-hole hitter for Lamar, leading things off in the top of the 3rd. There's a check swing, and he went around for strike 3. And so a good start here. That is the 4th strikeout for Sadeo.
Second time Jake Uhlenhop has called a check swing behind home plate. I think he got that one right. Just wasn't able to hold back, and Shane Sadeo has been attacking the zone, and we asked early about what they like about him, and you look at the numbers, that's what they love about Shane Sadeo, is he's not going to walk a lot of guys. He's going to be around the zone.
Back to the top of the order, and Tab Tracy, who led the ball game off with an infield single. It was kind of a swinging bunt that got past Sadeo, and then Royo coming in, fielded it and flipped it over the first baseman's head. He has scored the only run of the game, and he lifts this one out to left, where Dewar will make the catch. So this is year 2 for Mike Early as the head coach at Texas A&M. So many expectations going into the season a year ago with that preseason #1 ranking. So many players coming back from the team that got to the precipice the season before, and they just struggled with the injuries, but they battled back. What a bounce-back season for A&M.
Well, and again, we've talked about the mix. They got 3 freshmen in the lineup, coupled by 4 draft picks, and he's just done a great job of orchestrating this lineup into where it is now, and the high expectations they have here in Aggie Land are hard to deal with, and you could lose the grip on that rope really quickly, but Michael Early has kept it in the road, and here they are.
This ball bouncer up the middle, and that's a base hit for Bo Durbin, a 2-out single. Right back up the middle of the field, and snaps a string of 7 in a row, retired by Sadeo. 2-out base knock there for Durbin.
Yeah, you see Royo, second baseman, over into the shift position, and Bo Durbin just gets a base hit back up the middle. A little chopper, and this might be an opportunity for him to risk getting the stolen base. You don't mind A.J. Taylor leading off the next inning if you get blown up at second base, but this is a good time to go.
Durbin 3 out of 5 on the bases this season. A.J. Taylor had a single up the middle his first time up. That drove in Tab Tracy for the only run of the ball game so far. Gavin Grahovac playing first base, back across the diamond from where he spent the last few weeks with the Partita injury. And Michael Early told us this is the best defensive infield that they've got right now, with Partita at third, Kellner at short, Royo at second, and Grahovac at first.
And Gavin Grahovac easily could play third base, and at the next level he might. But the idea that Nico Partita can get over there as a freshman and hold down that spot, and as good as he's been, yeah, it moved Grahovac over to first, and that's the best version of this defense.
This ball hit in the air out to left. Dewar on the run at the track, and that ball is off the top of the wall. Hitting the bag at third, and coming around is Durbin for a run, and it's now 2-0. A.J. Taylor just missed his 8th home run of the season. Instead, it's an RBI double.
Shane Sadeo leaves the ball up in the zone. A.J. Taylor, the 3 spot, can drive it if he gets that pitch, and it's just a center cut fastball, crushes it to left center. What a job by Sorrell in center field to one-hop this ball off the carom and make an accurate throw into the cutoff. They almost got Bo Durbin at home plate just with the play by Sorrell in center field in the relay, but not enough. Umpires convening now.
And perhaps talking about whether or not that ball stayed in the ballpark.
That's the only thing I can think of. Nice effort by Dewar as the left fielder trying to get to it.
Call on the field. Is the ball in play? It's the crew chief challenge to see if there's a home run. Thank you.
All right, so this is an umpire crew chief initiated challenge, and this is what we're looking at.
I like that they're going to take a look, but I think this stayed in the ballpark. Yeah, right above Dewar's head, off the wall. What a great job again by Sorrell reading the hop. I mean, missed a home run by less than a foot. And Dewar missed the catch by about the same distance.
That ball actually make contact with his glove and he just can't quite haul it in?
No,
it may have just missed his glove and hits off the very top of the wall, and so the call as it was made, we think, is going to stand. Check again with the NCAA Replay Center.
Either way, what you've seen from Lamar's offense, who's not overpowering, but they're not afraid. I mean, leadoff base hit by Tapp Tracy in the first, ends up scoring a run, and now through the third, Bo Durbin, the 2-hole with the base hit, A.J. Taylor with the drive. So they're swinging the bats.
That's what it looks like inside the DV Sport Replay Ops Center, which is in Pittsburgh. First year that we've ever been able to give you that look inside the Replay Center. Call on the field was a double, and again, this was a crew chief initiated challenge. Umpires coming together and say, hey, let's make sure we got this one right.
And they're taking a long look at it. It looked pretty definitive to me in the replay, but
they've got cameras and monitors on all 16 sites. Don't expect any drama with this announcement. Here's Jake Uhlenhop.
After review, the call on the field is confirmed. The ball stayed in play.
Make sure you get it right. Don't take too long getting to the final decision.
And Shane Sadeo, after giving up the double and then the time off for the replay, has to regroup. Again, Jake Wagner is coming off 6 games in a row where he's got a base hit, 13 of his last 24. And this is the guy you have to be careful with.
Wagner just 1 home run on the season. He struck out his first time up today. Goes after the first pitch and fouls it over to the Texas A&M dugout on the third base side. Sadeo was cruising. He had retired 7 in a row, had 3 strikeouts in the mix. He gives up just kind of a bouncing ball up the middle for a 2-out single, but then A.J. Taylor with the base hit, and now this one shot out into right field. Taylor going to hit the bag at third. He will come around and score without a throw. It's an RBI single for Jake Wagner, his 17th run of the year driven in, and Lamar leads it 3-0.
Pretty good by Jake Wagner. Wagner just staying inside the ball, looking off speed, and reacting to the fastball. That's why he's late on it. Clearly, this is a ball he could pump out to left field, but that shows you that he's looking off speed and is able to be quick enough to get a bat on an elevated fastball and go to right. And Lamar, 3 runs already in this game.
3 runs on 5 hits, and a visit to the mound coming up. Jason Kelly, the pitching coach here at Texas A&M.
And we talked about with Shane Sadeo, he is going to be around the plate, but when he starts to elevate is when he gets hit around. And split the plate on A.J. Taylor with the double. And now that ball was actually above the belt to Jake Wagner.
One of the things that stands out with Sadeo is that batting average against, 309. ESPN is the home for the NCAA College Baseball Regionals. For around-the-clock multi-game coverage, scan the QR code below. ESPN Plus subscribers can access expanded coverage with Squeeze Play.
And Hector Rodriguez coming to the plate now is on a heater. 9 hits in his last 4 games.
Schick and Roon starting the day off in Squeeze Play. Chris Budden will make her way in later, as will Chris Burke. I'm locked in. I've got the iPad going with Squeeze Play. We got to keep up with everything.
You have to keep up with everything. I'll just go with what you say. If I'm locked in on this one.
Big swing and a miss there from Rodriguez. 0 for 1 flew out to right. Gave it a pretty good ride. Hit it all the way to the warning track out to right field where Jorian Wilson hauled it in. How's this one? Third base side is behind in the count. A ball and 2 strikes. Lamar with a run in the first, 2 here in the third. And the Cardinals out of the Southland Conference lead at 3-0 over Texas A&M at Bluebell Park. Hector Rodriguez gets a piece of it to stay alive there.
Now Shane Sadeo going slider heavy. Big opening on the right side of the infield for Hector Rodriguez, if he can push it that way.
Out into center field, Sorrell coming in. He'll make the catch just short of the logo. I guess that was like in Oklahoma. 3-0 Lamar as we go to the bottom of the third. Lamar off to a good start in this one. 3 runs, 5 hits, and an early 3-zip lead over Texas A&M. The Aggies begin their second trip through the lineup here in the bottom of the third inning, dealing with Chris Olivier. With the exception of Bear Harrison, who was hit by a pitch 1 through 9, everybody, well, Grahovic walked to start the ball game. So 7 of the 9 hitters put the ball in play. No strikeouts the first 9 through.
Yeah, but 2 guys on base each inning for the Aggies. So they've created the traffic, and you keep doing that, eventually you're going to bust through.
Gavin Grahovic, Caden Sorrell, Chris Hakopian to start things off for Texas A&M here in the bottom of the third. Just off the plate for ball 1. 2 years ago, Texas A&M hosted here in College Station. Two 2-0 now to Grahovic. They were also regional host back in 2022. Had Oral Roberts, Louisiana, and TCU here at Bluebell Park. That one catches the corner. 2-1 now to Grahovic.
That's a good sign, landing your off speed and hitters counts. And Grahovic was sitting all over that fastball, and that curveball fooled him.
Count now even at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
And that's all it ever is for a pitcher. Keeping the hitter off balance, keeping him guessing. The educated guess process as a hitter makes you more confident. So if I can guess along with the pitcher, I'm going to be more confident at the plate. But right now, Chris Olivier doing a nice job of mixing.
Full count now to Grahovic, who walked his first time up.
So when he landed the 2-0 curveball, now at 3-2, traditionally it'd be a fastball with nobody on, but you don't really know if you're Gavin Grahovic, so you've got to respect that curveball in this situation.
Olivier from the windup. And Grahovic puts it in play. That's a foul ball down the third baseline. That was well played by Rodriguez.
Very well played. Strong arm against the target. He didn't have his shoulders squared up. Still accurate. It's good practice.
Is that like the field goal kicker that they call a timeout, but go ahead and snap it?
Still go.
Split the uprights.
It's a good practice. Yeah. Look at that throw. Right on the money. And Gavin Grahovic does get a 3-2 curveball. So now Chris Olivier's got him set up. Grahovic has to sit back on that curve. That's when that fastball, if you can bury it inside, works.
Will Davis told us yesterday the message to his team was be one of the ones. He said 1 seeds are not going to go 16-0 tomorrow. Be the one, or be one of the ones that gets an upset of a 1 seed. Lamar off to a good start. And there is a swing and a miss, and Grahovac goes down on strikes. That's the first strikeout by Olivier. The NCAA Regionals coverage for all 16 sites continues tomorrow on ESPN Plus and the ESPN app. For more information, visit ncaa.com, the home of all NCAA championships.
It feels like at least early on that they needed to get to Chris Olivier. That would have shattered his confidence, but now it feels like Olivier's starting to gain confidence as we go along.
Maybe a ball came onto the field. Around, oh, got a gate that's open. I just heard somebody scream from the stands, were you born in a barn? Mom or grandma somewhere along the way has told you that. Close the door, you weren't born in a barn. Boy, this is a good barn.
Great barn.
Double-decker set up in the grandstands. They have added seats continually over the last decade or so, with big plans for the future of Bluebell Park. The ultimate plan that has already been approved by the Texas A&M Board of Regents is that they will create a concourse that runs all the way around the outfield. Now, there's some space constraints. On the left field wall, you've got the big rec center. That's a building. Obviously, you can't move that. And then be on the right field wall, train tracks. So a little bit limited with space, but great facility with passionate fan base.
And it will give up some home runs. The #1 ballpark in the SEC, giving up combined home runs here at Bluebell. You would think it'd be Georgia, which it is. The total home runs in Georgia, 142 hit at Foley, 128 here at Bluebell. But per game, this is the ballpark that gives up the most home runs.
Caden Sorrell. And a big part of that is because of Texas A&M and what they do, but opponents like to hit in this ballpark too.
Well, the number 16 ballpark gives up the least amount of home runs is Florida, and they can bash it around. So yeah, the talent matters, but point being, wind blowing out today, day game, ball should fly if they can make contact.
Sorrell now behind in the count evens at 2 balls and 2 strikes to Sorrell.
Chris Olivier is making some really good hitters look bad. Just struck out Gavin Grahovac. And Caden Sorrell, one of the best in the league.
Out into center field, slicing away from Tracy, and that ball is going to carry it, hit off the top of the wall. If you were curious about whether or not the ball is going to carry, yes, it will. And Sorrell hit that one a ton to straightaway center field.
Yeah, he smoked that one. 105 exit velocity off the bat for Caden Sorrell. Tried to sneak a fastball by him, tried to get it elevated, didn't do it. And Caden Sorrell goes down and gets it, hits it off the center field wall. And that's the kind of hitter that Caden Sorrell is. Looking off speed, react fastball, and just crushed it for a double.
So a 1-out double for Caden Sorrell brings Chris Hakopian to the plate. He flew out to right field, sitting on 9 home runs on the season. Hakopian the DH. That was just the second hit of the ball game for Texas A&M. Jake Dewar had the first, his single through the right side of the infield back in the first inning. Aggies have had runners on base in all 3 frames. Good job there by Wagner. That one was way out in front of home plate when it hit the dirt.
Well, Chris Olivier is not going to split the plate here. You got 1 out. Even if he walks him, it sets up the double play. So he's not overly concerned with throwing strikes here. You do want to get him out, but they need to be quality strikes. And yeah, that wasn't even close. But now I would expect another curveball that he tries to land for a strike.
Just missed at the bottom of the zone, and now 3-0 to Chris Hakopian. Big crowd on a hot afternoon looking for something to cheer about. Old Aggies trailing at 3-0. It's a center cut fastball for strike one to Hakopian.
Bat-to-ball skills for Hakopian's off the charts. That's what they loved about him after he hit 375 coming over from Maryland. And Michael Early told us they knew it would translate. Only 15% strikeouts to plate appearance for Chris Hakopian. Great idea of the zone, and there's another walk.
Takes his walk and will head down to first base, and that will bring Jake Dewar back to the plate. Aggies with something brewing here in the bottom of the third. A pair on with one down.
Now Lamar's looking for the double play. And this is, you always want to keep the ball low, but this is when Chris Olivier is going to be focused on sinkers away. And if you do drop a curveball, you got to make sure it gets down in the zone. When he goes after it, he beats it in the ground. That's his best chance of getting out of this inning.
Did you see that helmet rig the guy had on? We got to go back to that in a second. You want to talk about sweating at the ballpark? Helmet, camera, iPhone mounted. Out into center field, Tracy toward the left center field gap will make the catch. Tagging at second and going to third, Caden Sorrell, but now two down in the inning, and Olivier an out away. Check this out, Todd. What are we doing here?
Is that the helmet cam? It seems like the technology now would have that thing a bit smaller than what we're looking at right there, but
I'm glad we don't ask the umpires to wear that rig. They still need to see in real time.
I actually did that with a GoPro at my daughter's soccer game, so I put it on my head. So everywhere I looked, that's where you would video the thing. It felt like a good idea at the time, but when I went
Did you ever go back and watch the footage?
When I went and watched it, yeah, I got real dizzy.
Nico Partita, first and third with two down, looking for a base hit to get the Aggies on the board. Time called there at home. I think it was Jake Dewar who asked for time and had it granted by Jake Uhlenhop, our home plate umpire. Sorrell at third, Hakopian at first. The 0-1.
This is going to be a situation where Chris Olivier is going to show the fastball to go to the off speed. So you're going to start to see a ton of curveballs and changeups from Chris Olivier. Might elevate a fastball every now and then just to give the hitter a look, but he's going to be going to his off speed to try to get the outs.
2 balls and a strike now to Jake Dewar. Has one of Texas A&M's 2 hits in the ball game. I beg your pardon, Nico Partita. Dewar, the previous hitter. I forgot to write down that he flew out to center field. So Partita ahead in the count, 2-1. Off speed there, and now it evens at 2-2. That straight change, right on right that time. Partita, the first to throw to first. Talked about Lamar saying, hey, let's be one of the ones, one of the 4 seeds that is able to knock off a 1 seed. It's already happened twice today. Southern Miss losing in Hattiesburg. Auburn losing at home to Milwaukee. Strike 3 called. Partita goes away looking. He did not like it. Drops the bat right around the circle, but Chris Olivier likes it. And so does Will Davis, who we will talk to when we come back. Lamar in front, 3-zip. The top of the fourth inning, Lamar in front of Texas A&M 3-0 alongside Todd Walker. Richard Cross joined now by Will Davis, the head coach of the Lamar Cardinals in his 10th season. And coach, so far so good on the mound. Chris Olivier's kind of navigated his way through a couple of tough spots.
He has, yeah, and that's kind of why we went with Chris, because we knew he could maybe not punch a ton of guys out, but he could stay off the barrel, and he's done that enough, and he's battled through it. So he's so far so good.
Well, Will, you've got an older group. What is it, 9 seniors, including your pitcher, Chris Olivier, 1 junior. How much fun has it been with this group during this time?
It's been awesome, man. I mean, for losing the first game of the conference tournament to win 6 in a row and get to experience this has been an unbelievable ride, and we want to make it last as long as we can.
Coach, we appreciate your time. Wish you the best.
All right, thank you, guys.
Will Davis, 289 wins at Lamar in his 10 seasons. This will be his final year in Beaumont. He has been named the next head coach at the University of Houston. And we talked with him some about how you kind of navigate that. And he said, you know, the portal's not open yet, so we're keeping an eye there on what the roster might look like, but nothing we can really do yet. And so the focus largely, or almost exclusively, has been on Lamar and how far they can go this year.
And it was a good transfer time for him because he's got all these seniors in the lineup. So he said they were all happy for him. You know, a lot of times you have to have individual meetings, which he did with the underclassmen, to kind of explain what's going on. But overall, it was a good switch for Will Davis, and I think it'll be a good run for him.
51st pitch of the game there from Shane Sadeo. He is behind in the count, 3-1. That pitch catches the corner, and now a full count to Braden Benton.
I like the 3-1 take with nobody on because the 3-2 is going to be the same pitch. You make him throw 2 strikes in a row with nobody out, nobody on.
Benton hits this ball in the air out into left field. Dewar on the run. Ballpark not going to hold that one, way out of Bluebell Park. Braden Benton with just his 2nd home run of the season, but he got every bit of that one.
Only 2 hits in his last 4 games, but man, you're right. He got a hold of that. I think the 3-1 take allowed him to get the timing right for the 3-2. Center cut fastball by Shane Sadeo. And the Cardinals aren't scared. They're swinging the bats, man. They've come out and they've jumped to a 4-0 lead here into the top of the 4th.
A 414-foot home run there from Braden Benton to lead things off, and Lamar leading it 4-0, and that is going to do it for Shane Sadeo. 4 runs and 6 hits allowed in 3+ innings, and this Lamar Cardinals team beginning to create some real nervousness inside this building.
Only 273 as a group, 38 home runs, and that's compared to like a Georgia who's hit 149. But look at this swing right here by Braden Benton. It's gone. Lamar with 4 lead.
After a solo home run to lead off the 4th inning, Texas A&M makes a pitching change. It's Gavin Lyons, the sophomore from Connecticut, making his 27th appearance of the year. He's been used a lot, primarily out of the bullpen.
Yeah, most appearances on the team. This will be his 27th appearance. Only a sophomore. Not overpowering. Only 51 strikeouts in 63 innings, but he does get outs, and he'll be around the plate. Only 18 walks. Made top 90, but going to live in the high 80s with the fastball, and mostly fastballs and cutters. So he's going to be bouncing around the zone. But how about this swing by Braden Benton? Went down and got it. A double, 3 singles, and a home run for this Lamar offense.
That was the first home run for Braden Benton since February 21st. Pretty good gap there between long balls, and that has Will Davis smiling in that first base dugout. His Lamar Cardinals have made it kind of quiet here at Bluebell Park. Balin Valentine 0 for 1 with a fly out to center. He's behind in the count, no balls and 2 strikes. There's strike 3. Valentine goes away looking, and a good start for Gavin Lyons out of the bullpen.
A little energy. Fastball's coming in a little faster than what we're used to. 93, 94, a little slinger with the sink, and Balin Valentine just a little too careful. That ball comes back over the plate for the first out. Nice job coming out of the bullpen and shutting the first hitter down.
Now Braden Evans in the 8th hole of the lineup. He takes a 93-mile-an-hour fastball for a strike there at the bottom of the zone. A little life on that fastball.
Yeah, it's moving, which usually straightens out that sinker. But he's doing a nice job right now, attacking the zone, and that's what you want to see out of the bullpen. Come in, throw strikes.
2 strikes against a left-handed hitter, and the Aggies shift. Down and in. 0-1 to Braden Evans. Out to shallow left field, coming in Dewar, but Sorrell will call him off. The center fielder makes the catch, and there are 2 down in the inning. Strikeout and a fly out for Gavin Lyons since coming in.
6 hits, 4 runs for the Cardinals. 9-hole Kevin Durant, who struck out his last time up. So they'll clear the lineup. Second time through. They look good.
Yeah. Stage certainly has not looked too big for Lamar out of the Southland Conference early in this ball game, looking for their 35th win of the season, and more importantly, trying to advance to that 1-0 game. You think about Texas A&M and what it takes to win a regional. Obviously, there's a comeback that has to happen here. But you got to have arms that last, and if there is a negative mark on this team, as good as the offense has been, the pitching staff has had its struggles.
But when you talk about the history of Texas A&M, they've hosted 3 regionals here in College Station. They're 9-0. 2016, 2022, and 2024. So they win here at home. 27-6 this year. But you're right. You've got to have the pitching and the guys that can do the job on the mound. That's been a question mark for this Texas A&M. 13th in the SEC as a pitching staff.
Team ERA over 5, 5.13 team ERA, and then batting average against higher than you would expect as well. Teams hitting .271 against Aggies pitchers.
But the story is going to be if they can hold this offense down. Again, A&M,
sure,
the best run producing team within the 30-game schedule of the SEC, even more than Georgia.
2 balls and a strike. This one out to left field, and this ball flying, and it's out of the yard too. Kevin Durant with a home run. The second solo shot here in the 4th inning, and the 6th of the year for Durant. Cardinals feeling it here in College Station in the top of the 4th inning, up 5-0 on the Aggies.
What are we watching here? The Lamar Cardinals only 38 home runs on the year coming into today. They popped 2 in this inning. And from the bottom of the order, Kevin Durant out of the 9th spot just smoked that ball left center.
And now we go back to the top of the lineup and Tab Tracy, who is 1 for 2 with a run scored. You see, in terms of home runs hit by teams in the NCAA tournament, Lamar coming into today tied with the Citadel for the 4th fewest.
Yeah, 40, including the 2 today. And, you know, when you play in a hitter's ballpark, you really just have to be focused on making contact. They do a nice job of moving the ball around, does Lamar. And so now it's just a function of whether or not the ball is going to fly. And it is really flying today.
One ball and 2 strikes now to Tab Tracy. So Gavin Lyons strike away from getting out of the inning, and Texas A&M trying to limit the damage and not make that hole to climb out of any deeper than it already is. Solo home run for Braden Benton to lead off the inning. That was off the starter Cedillo. Lyons came in. He got a strikeout of Valentine, got Evans to fly out, but then a deep home run by Kevin Duran. And now the count full as that one sails outside, and Tab Tracy trying to find his way on base with 2 outs.
Well, you're right. If anybody in the country can come back, it's this Aggie offense. But limiting the damage at this point is going to be the focus.
Check swing, and Tracy was not able to hold up. He knew it. He gave kind of a half-hearted jog down to first base, but no protest as he heads to the dugout. Couple of solo home runs. Braden Benton says, "Let's dance, boys." That made it 4-0. This made it 5-0. Welcome back to the NCAA Baseball Regionals presented by Capital One. Olson Field at Bluebell Park in College Station, Texas, and Texas A&M is now looking to do something that they have not done all season long, and that is come back from a 5-run deficit. Twice the Aggies have overcome 4-run deficits this year. They have never come back this year from trailing by 5, but that is the task at hand as Bear Harrison leads off in the bottom of the 4th.
Well, and it didn't feel like worth mentioning until now, but if you think back to February 24th, Texas A&M beat Lamar 25-5. And it's a little unfair because it was a midweek, and Lamar, of course, a little thinner on the mound than A&M would be, but that's a beating. And I think it made him a little mad.
Will Davis, I don't think he would mind us sharing this. He told us, he said, I did not have a good feeling going into that game. They had dealt with some injuries. They obviously weren't throwing the weekend arms they had. He said, we knew the 10-run rule was in place. We weren't sure how we were going to get 18 outs to get it to that point. And obviously Texas A&M had a big night swinging the bat back in February, but Chris Olivier was not on the mound on that night in February.
And that's the key. Yeah, I mean, pitching matters, obviously. I think it's all of baseball, if not most of it. And Chris Olivier seems to be getting better as this game goes on.
And he records a strikeout of Bear Harrison to start things off here in the bottom of the fourth. That is the third strikeout by Olivier, all in the last 2 innings.
And there is such a thing as putting a little too much pressure on yourself when, again, we've talked about the expectations with this Aggie organization, but especially the offense. And when you're trying to do much, you get too much. You get swings like that from Bear Harrison, and so far it feels like the entire Aggie lineup has been over-swinging.
First pitch swinging for Jorian Wilson, hits it high in the air to shallow center field. Tracy makes the catch, and there are quickly 2 down here in the fourth for Texas A&M.
And it's always tough as a hitter when you come into the first game of a regional or a super, or especially to get an opportunity to play in Omaha with a pitcher on the mound that can pull the string. So when he can command his off speed, it makes it very hard for a hitter because you're jumpy and excited, and you can't use that emotion as a hitter. You got to stay relaxed, and it takes a minute to get locked in.
Already today, a couple of eyebrow-raising finals and some eyebrow-raising scores right now. St. Mary's taking on the #1 overall seed UCLA. That game is 2-2 in the bottom of the 7th. UCLA had, what, 3 walk-off victories in the Big Ten tournament on their way to becoming Big Ten champions. That was at Charles Schwab Field in Omaha last week.
50 wins already for UCLA, and it's a great story because 2 years ago, John Savage started all freshmen, and they went 19-33, including, Roman Martin and Rock Chalowski in that group, Louvet at first base. But 1933 their freshman year. Last year, Savage will tell you, they kind of felt like they overperformed, but they were all on focus for this year, and what a year they've had.
3-0 to Ben Royo. That strike right down the middle, and the count goes to 3-1. Lamar with the shift on, 3 infielders to the left side of the second base bag with the right-handed hitter Ben Royo. 0 for 1 in the ball game. And Royo draws the walk. 2-out base runner for the Aggies, and the 9-hole hitter Boston Kellner coming to the plate.
Pretty close for Chris Olivier, who I feel like has earned the strike zone.
So Little Rock with a win over Southern Miss. Southern Miss, the overall #9 seed. Milwaukee has won against Auburn 13-8. They led 10-0 in that ball game. And you've got St. Mary's and UCLA tied at 2. Out in Los Angeles, and it's Jackie Robinson Stadium.
And it's been well documented, the #1 overall seed in the nation since 1999 has only won the national championship twice. That was Miami in '99, and then all the way to 2024 when Tennessee was the #1 seed. So UCLA, the #1 seed, has to fight that battle internally as well.
By the way, if you want to keep up with all of the games that are happening, check out Squeeze Play. This is Mike Rooney's favorite weekend of the year. He gets 16 games today and 16 tomorrow, and then we start crowning regional champions and looking toward the super regional weekend. Heard of Christmas in July. It's Christmas in late May for Mike Rooney, and don't forget to scan the QR code. You don't know how to get there? Just scan that, and it'll take you to it.
Matt Schick, Chris Budden, Chris Burke do a great job. A lot of knowledge. One of my favorite times of year is Omaha, when I get to be around Chris Burke and the professor, Mike Rooney, and Kyle Peterson, Ben McDonald, DeLucci, on down the list, Jared Mitchell, and we talk baseball. I don't get to bust out in a baseball conversation in Shreveport, Louisiana. Nobody cares, but especially my family. But when you get to Omaha, you're talking all kind of, baseball lingo, and it's just, for me, it's a lot of fun.
1-2, runner goes, throw to second. That's going to be a stolen base for Royo. Shortstop Taylor looked at the dugout and said, let's take a look at that one, and Will Davis popped out, and so I think we will have a review. This is our first coach-initiated review in the ballgame.
Lamar's challenging. The ruling at second base is safe. Place on the further review.
I like Jake Hewlett. It's kind of understated with those announcements so far. Let's take a look.
Well, I wouldn't say anything to Jake Hewlett. He can put you in a headlock, put you to sleep, but I feel like Ben Royal got his left hand in there under the tag.
See where the glove finishes. It finishes between his two arms, but did he make contact going past the arm? Yes.
The left hand's in there.
Looks like it's in there.
Yeah, good time to go with 2 outs. Take a chance. You don't mind Boston Kellner leading off the next inning. And now Kellner gets a chance to drive in a run. I feel like you got to break the seal. Just need the 1 run, and then the offense still starts to feel better about themselves. You've always heard the analogy, hitting's contagious. Well, this is an opportunity right now to get it going.
Our NCAA Replay Control Center is in Pittsburgh with our friends at DBS Sport, and they're looking closely right now. Call of the field was safe at second base. Lamar with the challenge, and we are awaiting the result of the review. Don't you always wonder kind of why it takes as long as it does? Like you and I looked at that once, you're like, oh yeah, he's safe. Yeah, make sure they get it right, I suppose.
The transfer of the information as well, right? So it looks pretty obvious to us. We'll see what they say, but I think he's safe. That'll put an Aggie in scoring position. The Aggies have had at least 2 runners on every inning, except this one, of course, with the 1 run. But
After review, the call on the field is confirmed. Lamar loses a challenge and has 1 remaining.
Probably worth trying. Would have ended the inning if there had been an out call or an overturn. Lamar will have 1 challenge remaining for the remainder of the game, and we're going to have a visit on the mound for the first time for Lamar.
Chase Hutchins coming out. Worked in the Chicago Cubs organization. He's a native of here in College Station. His dad, Jason, coached at A&M. And in 2025, Chase Hutchins, the pitching development here at A&M. So he's got some ties.
(5-0). Lamar in front of Texas A&M. See the information that we were talking about. Suppose that could make a family meal awkward at some point.
Right. There's Jason.
Director of Operations hanging out down in the bullpen.
If they do have dinner, is it all strikes and balls and pitching? Is that the conversation?
I don't know.
You can go have dinner with them sometime.
Strike 3 called. Kellner goes away looking. Almost like you had kind of lost sight of the fact that there was a 2-2 count. How about this pitch from Olivier?
Good meeting by Chase Hutchins. Olivier gets him off the field again.
Bryan College Station, a beautiful Friday afternoon for the College Station Regional. Game 1 between the Lamar Cardinals and the Texas A&M Aggies, and so far so good for Lamar out of the Southland Conference. Bo Durbin leading things off, and he lines that one foul here in the top of the 5th inning. It is a 5-0 lead for Lamar over the 1-seed Texas A&M. Coming up later tonight, it's the 2-seed Southern Cal and the 3-seed Texas State. We think that's going to be a fun matchup.
Pitching and defense for USC versus the Big Bashers from Texas State. Slam Marcos.
Slam Marcos is what the shirt said yesterday.
They come bumbling into the practice yesterday with an old school jam box like they own the place. Pretty cool entrance for Texas State. Hey, got a lot of swagger.
I know those looked like old school jam boxes to you. Those were the very new modern turtle boxes, actually. They had it in party mode, though.
I think it makes the story better, but you know, you can get the visual. You used to carry it on your shoulder, you know, rolling in here.
Did you have one?
Oh yeah.
One tape deck or two in it?
I spent a lot of years trying to learn to break dance. Didn't work out. Didn't work out.
Could you at least do Thriller?
I could do a little moonwalk, yeah. Okay. Give me some ice.
How about A.J. Taylor, 2 for 2 with a pair of runs driven in the ball game. He bats with 1 out here in the top of the 5th inning. A.J. Taylor and his teammates sitting on a 5-zip lead. Taylor lifts this one out to shallow left field. Evans, a little bit of a late break, and he came in on a dead sprint to make that catch. Played pretty deep, and I think the outfielders have got to do that at this point with the way the ball has carried here early in the ballgame.
Yeah, you're going to play right inside the warning track and keep everything in front of you moving in. Ball flies. We've talked about that here. And those balls are hard to read off the end of the bat. Initially, you think it's going to be popped, but nice job by Dewar coming in.
ESPNU tonight, 9 Eastern, 8 local time for that matchup between the 2-seed Southern Cal and the 3-seed Texas State. Two 2-0 to Chris Hakopian, 0 for 1 with a fly out, beg your pardon, wrong side of the scorecard there. Jake Wagner. And Wagner takes a strike, and it goes to 2-1. Wagner with an RBI single in the 3rd. Five runs, 7 hits for the Lamar Cardinals. No errors in the game today. This one gonna be a souvenir down the right field line out onto the berm. Oh, well done, sir. Well done.
Sandwich in one hand, baseball in the other.
Strike 3 called. Wagner goes away looking. Strikeout by Gavin Lyons. Halfway home at College Station, Lamar leads at 5-zip.
The real fun just getting started.
Run straight for the breakaway.
The celebration is on.
If you are a college baseball fan, which I assume you are if you're watching this afternoon, and you haven't made the trip, it is worth it. College World Series begins in Omaha June 12th. 8 teams, 2 pools. You come to pool play, and then you get to best 2 out of 3 championship series. What a host the city of Omaha is for the Men's College World Series.
It's kind of a cool format starting today with the regionals all the way through. I mean, you can potentially lose 4 games through that run and still win the national championship. So,
first pitch swinging. This one hit out to center field by Grahovac going back. That ball is gone. It's a long ball for Gavin Grahovac. His 20th of the year, and Texas A&M is on the board. 422 feet to straightaway center field, and finally they can fire up the bubble guns here at Bluebell.
Aggies are hitting 447 on the first pitch, and Grahovac ambushes that one dead center. That'll get them going.
Stadium had gotten pretty quiet, pretty nervous. Did that take the lid off for Texas A&M as you see the bubbles floating over Olsen Field here? Now it's Caden Sorrell's turn, and he takes ball 1. Just the 3rd hit of the game. That was on a line to straightaway center field.
Yeah, an off-speed first pitch, and not off-speed enough. Grahovac, a lot of pop.
There's a strike to Caden Sorrell. The count evens at 1-1. Sorrell flew out in the first inning, walked in the 3rd. Officially 0 for 1 at the plate for the 3rd time.
– 23 home runs for Gavin Grahovac in his freshman year. We talked about it. He played 6 games last year and got hurt. That was a big reason why the Aggies weren't able to fill their potential last year. Comes back with his 20th home run of the season.
Sorrell yanks that one foul down the right field line. Let me correct myself. Sorrell 1 for 2. The fly out and a double back in the 3rd inning, but he was stranded at 3rd base.
All defensive center fielder in the SEC, plus arm, a lot of pop. There is some swing and miss, but he is going to be a good big league baseball player.
That one got him on the foot, and he will head down to first base. And so a solo home run to start the inning from Grahovac. Sorrell hit by the pitch. And a little bit of conversation with Wagner, the catcher. And the home plate umpire, Jake Uhlenhop, perhaps raising his voice a bit. Will Davis trying to settle everybody down. I think Olivier is saying that he perhaps didn't hit him.
Or that he didn't attempt to move.
But you don't have to move.
You don't have to move,
yeah,
but
yeah,
you can't lean into it. You know, maybe there's a conversation where he leaned into it a bit.
This is by far the most emotion that we have seen from Olivier. You wonder if perhaps something was said as Sorrell was heading down to first base.
Yeah, let's see if it caught him. No, I didn't see anything there unless it hit a shoelace. Saw the dirt kick up beyond the right foot. Yeah, Wagner's saying that it didn't hit you, you know it. And Sorrell's going to take what's given.
But the truth of the matter is it was Jake Uhlenhop, the home plate umpire, that made the call. Sorrell didn't really try to sell it.
Well, for the home plate umpire, they usually don't see that. It's either the sound.
The ruling on the field is the ball hit the batter. Lamar's challenging the hit batter. Plays under further review.
It's either the sound and the reaction of the hitter. If the hitter can put on a good acting job, then that's all really that Uhlenhop has to go off of. And he probably heard the sound of that dirt hitting. If he were able to see this hit the right foot, that would have been Superman eyes.
See if we can hear it. So, home plate umpire Hewlin hop. He pointed to first, and then he kind of gave the "it hit his foot" signal.
I didn't see anything there.
Lamar challenging it. By the way, this is, if not successful, the last challenge available.
You would have to really see visual evidence to overturn that call. I think there's enough there, Richard.
The only question that I would ask from that side angle that you have there is, did it possibly graze the shin? Clearly it hit in the dirt, kind of in between his feet. It didn't just hit his foot. But your point is a good one. You must have indisputable video evidence to overturn the call that was made on the field.
And I think it's there. I don't see any misdirection of the baseball. You see the dirt kick up beyond the right foot.
So you think Caden Sorrell's coming back to home plate?
Well, again, you'd have to be definitive on seeing that it did not hit him to overturn. We'll find out here.
Here's our home plate umpire. This is that straight on.
After review, the call on the field stands. Lamar's second challenge. They're now out of challenges.
On this look, do you see anything there? Does it graze that front right shin before it hits the dirt?
It's just so hard to tell.
And for perhaps that reason, the call on the field of hit by pitch stands. Perhaps Texas A&M catches a break there. Lamar is out of challenges. There's a runner on first with nobody out in the inning, and Chris Hakopian at the plate.
This is the moment of the baseball game where Chris Olivier has to stay under control. You've still got a 4-run lead. He's pitched brilliantly to this point. Just don't let it spiral out of hand by speeding things up. You know, stay under control, mix your timing up.
There's a strike. Count 1-1 now to Hakopian.
Good changeup spot right on the outside corner. And that sequence usually follows a fastball middle in. Chris Hakopian's got lightning hands, so you got to make sure you get it in there.
First, keeping an eye on Caden Sorrell, who is the leading base stealer for Texas A&M, the one of two with double figures. Only one in the lineup today, though. Sorrell 10 of 14 this year. This ball in the air, out into left center field. You can't forget about it. A 2-run shot for Chris Hakopian. And now we've got a 2-run ball game. 430 feet out of Bluebell Park. That ball by Hakopian was crushed, his 10th of the year.
104 miles an hour off the bat. A&M's exit velocity as a team is 7th in the country at 90 miles an hour. And the 2 home runs that they've hit in this inning have gone a long way, no doubt. And the Aggies climb within 2. We got Bubbles in the booth.
Solo home run, hit by pitch, 2-run home run, and it's now a 5-3 ball game here in College Station. This the 76th pitch of the game by Chris Olivier. He has struck out 4, walked 3, and hit 2. All of a sudden, there's some life in this ballpark. Jake Dewar hits it in the air. This one out into right center field. Tracking it down and making the catch, Tab Tracy, first out of the inning.
The Aggies had 7 base runners through the first 4 innings and finally break through here in the 5th. Their last win after trailing by 5 runs was
all the way back in 2019.
7 years ago. Trailed 5-0, and You had a feeling that this offense would wake up at some time, and Gavin Grahovac had a leadoff spot, got him going.
Told you earlier, twice this year, Texas A&M overcame a 4-run deficit. They've not overcome it yet. Still trailing 5-3 with a lot of baseball to go here in the bottom of the 5th inning. This one hit hard but foul. Third base side, Nico Partita. 0 for 2 with a flyout and a strikeout. You talked about just a moment ago the exit velocity for Texas A&M. Michael Early told us philosophically that is what they are teaching.
Hit the ball hard.
Hit it hard.
That's probably a good teaching point. Yeah, that 90 miles an hour is average.
Yeah, recognize the strike zone and then do damage.
Yeah, and they also, per plate appearance is 4 pitches per plate appearance. And that's 18th in Division I. So they're patient, but when they get after it, they don't miss it. Most of the time. And I've always said the more pitches you see as a hitter, the more advantage becomes yours, because you see the tempo and the timing and the release point and the visual of what the pitches look like. Now Aggie's 3rd time through the lineup for Chris Olivier, and they've got him timed up.
RPO getting loose in the bullpen, the right-hander. That pitch misses, and the count goes full now to Nico Partita. Partita on the ground, left side, fielded by Taylor across the body for the 2nd out of the inning. A.J. Taylor pretty smooth at shortstop.
Very smooth. Can swing the bat too. Only 6 errors on the year, 256 chances for Taylor, and that move on the run where you have to kind of aim that ball up the right field line to let it kind of angle back toward the target, and he hit Benton right in the chest.
So home run, hit by pitch, home run to start the inning, then fly out and ground out, and now here is Bear Harrison. Harrison check swing, foul ball. Got that one on the handle of the bat. Southern Cal and Texas State coming up this evening in the nightcap, an 8 o'clock Central Time first pitch for that ball game. We've got it for you on ESPNU. There's strike 2 to Bear Harrison. Hit by a pitch to start the 2nd inning, struck out swinging to begin the 4th inning. Harrison, a double-digit home run guy. Gets this one high in the air, just beyond the infield dirt. And that's the second baseman, Duran, who will squeeze it for the 3rd out of the inning. So 3 hitters, 3 runs to start the inning, and then 1, 2, 3. But Texas A&M back in this ball game thanks to the long ball. Gavin Grahovac first, and then Chris Hakopian going deep. Gavin Grahovac got Texas A&M's offense going with a solo home run to straightaway center field in the top of the 5th inning. Aggies added 2 more with the home run from Hakopian. 5-3 our game as we go to the 6th. Hector Rodriguez leading things off, hits this one out to left field. Durer squeezes it for the first out of the inning. Pretty efficient start to the inning for Gavin Lyons.
Anytime you can get a first pitch out, that's big. And you're Braden Benton, who wants to be a little more aggressive. Imagine, you know, he's got to be a little patient, but he wasn't patient here. Just a bomb to left center field.
Over 400 feet out to left field. Met his teammates for a party in front of the dugout. I thought watching him yesterday at Lamar's practice, I'm like, okay, that's not normally what a Division I college first baseman looks like. But then the more you watch Braden Benton, you're like, okay, he's got pretty good feet. Looks like he's got pretty good hands. And he had a big swing for Lamar here earlier today.
Reminds you of Zach York at LSU. But Zach can move, so can Braden, and around the bag, and obviously has some pop. Spent the last 2 years at Northwestern State in Natchitoches, Louisiana. 12 home runs there in 2 years.
2 balls and 2 strikes now to Braden Benton, hitting just .235 on the year. And we talked about it earlier, late February, the last time he hit a home run. But he's got one here today in late May. Now tip held on to by Harrison, and this time Benton goes down swinging. Second out of the inning.
You mentioned limiting the damage. Gavin Lyons, since he's been in this game, has done just that. Been really effective, just throwing that sinker in the zone, and any balls that Lamar have put in play outside of the home run by Kevin Durant out of the 9 spot have been weak outs or swing and misses.
So 4 strikeouts by the starter Shane Sadeo, 4 now by Gavin Lyons since coming into this game. He gets a swing and a miss from Balin Valentine to start this at bat. Valentine 0 for 2 with a flyout and a strikeout. Left side, it's Partido, and the throw pulled Grahovac at first base. And safe at first. Well, Valentine really got down the line there.
Yeah, nice stretch by Grahovac at first base. That's a tough play for a third baseman. You can't get leveled off towards your target and get any kind of velocity on that throw is tough, and Partita does all he can do. Nice stretch, and just wasn't enough.
Infield single for Valentine, his first hit of the ball game. And now Braden Evans to the plate. Evans goes after the first pitch and fouls it back onto the roof of the grandstands. I got a souvenir in the second deck. Ball and a strike to Evans. Out to shallow left. Durer has to wait a long time for that one to come down. Makes the catch. Another 0 on the board here. 5-3. A lot of trains by the ballpark here in College Station. 5-3 our scores. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning. 5 runs, 8 hits, no errors for for Lamar. 3-4-1 for A&M. The winner of this game will meet the winner of USC Texas State coming up at 9 Eastern on ESPNU. That'll be the 1-0 game tomorrow night. The loser of this game will play the loser of tonight's game in an elimination game in the heat tomorrow afternoon.
Grant Govell, their number 2 for USC, going tonight against the 6th-year grad student Ryan Marquardt for Texas State. That'll be a good one.
That's a number 2 that would be a number 1 at a lot of places.
10 shutouts this year by USC as a pitching staff. That's best in the country. 2 better than Oregon.
Swing and a miss there for Jorian Wilson. 7, 8, and 9 in the order for Texas A&M. Bottom of the 6th inning, Aggies down 2. They put a 3 spot on the board with a pair of home runs in the bottom of the 5th inning. A final in the Eugene Regional. Washington State with a win over Oregon State, 3-2. Low-scoring ball game there in Eugene. Big swing and a miss there for Wilson. He strikes out, first out of the inning. 90th pitch of the game for Chris Olivier.
Olivier's calmed everything down. That's a big first out to Jorian Wilson, the changeup down in the dirt. And we mentioned Olivier's last outing. He went 8 against McNeese. Now he's out there battling again into the 6th.
Ben Royo from the 8-hole walked in his last at bat, and he takes a first pitch strike here.
It was Oregon State who's 2nd in the nation with 8 shutouts, and man, can they pitch it.
They'll be in that elimination game tomorrow, though, in Eugene.
Well, the good news is if you have to battle through the losers bracket, you have depth on the mound. And, you know, Oregon State definitely has it.
Number 1 overall seed UCLA still in a 2-2 game with St. Mary's in the top of the 9th. Check that. St. Mary's just went ahead of the number 1 seed UCLA 3-2 in the top of the 9th.
It's always amazing when mid-majors punch back to me. I mean, it's just, you know, getting after it. They don't have the NIL. They don't have all the glam that most of these division or the majors have. You know, the Power 4 conferences, but they just seem to battle it every year.
Out to Taylor at short, kind of out to the side on one hop, and then he makes a perfect throw over to get Ben Royo 2nd out of the inning.
That's 2 plays in a row just smooth by A.J. Taylor. That's not easy to lose the target, then turn around and focus back in. And then a perfect throw across the diamond. He's impressive.
Well, and whether you're talking about St. Mary's or this Lamar team or what we see with Texas State, it's a reminder there are a lot of really good college baseball players all over this great country.
And there's an advantage to playing at home. I mean, UCLA has a monster record there, and for these guys to walk in on the road and compete, you know, at a high level is just always impressive.
Just 6 losses all year long for UCLA. Benton fields this one, flips it to Olivier covering at first, and what a bounce back inning for Olivier. Getting the bottom 3 of the order for A&M, 3 up, 3 down. 5-3 our score. We go to the 7th at College Station. The boys from Beaumont with a 5-3 lead over Texas A&M as we go to the top of the 7th inning. Game 1 of the College Station Regional from Olson Field at Bluebell Park in Bryan College Station. Glad to have you along for the ride. Great afternoon. Getting a little cloud cover to give us a little bit of a break on the temperature. Alongside Todd Walker, former All-American at LSU and 12-year big leaguer Richard Cross. Thanks for joining us for a big weekend of baseball, not just here in College Station, but all over the country, including the #1 overall seed on the ropes in the 9th inning. Kevin Durant in the 9-hole back in the 4th inning for the 6th time this year. He got hold of this one.
And the second home run in the inning for Lamar. Braden Benton started off this inning in the 4th with a home run. And Kevin Durant, out of the 9 spot, adds another. At that point, Lamar had a 5-0 lead. Aggies come storming back and score 3 with 2 home runs themselves.
Durant lays off the 0-2. Called a ball, and it goes to a ball and 2 strikes now to Kevin Durant. 1 for 2 with a strikeout and that solo home run. So in on the hands. Partita across to Grahovac, 1 away.
Picture perfect from Partita at third base. Stay below the ball. It can hop over you, but it never can go under you. Keep your glove below the ball, and he bends his legs and just nice and calm, accurate throw. Got the arm strength to do it.
Did you hear Michael Early talking about Partita? And I don't think this is something that a coach just accidentally throws out. He said, you're talking about the potential of a future 1-1 guy in Partita. And you look at the makeup and kind of the freshman season he has and what he is defensively at third base. It's going to be an interesting career to watch continue to grow.
Yeah, it just shows what he thinks of him. It's hard to predict the #1 pick in the draft 2 years from now, but he's definitely going to be, he's going to make a lot of money for sure.
Nico Partita on the freshman all-SEC team, and deservedly so. Tap Tracy, top of the order, at the plate for the 4th time today. 1 for 3 with a single and a run scored. Just after 5 o'clock local time here in College Station. Tracy late there and he fouls it back. Sadeo started this game, blasted into the 4th inning, but did not record an out there. Gave up 6 hits and 4 runs, 3 of which were earned. This ball hit sharply to Grahovac at first base, and he makes the squeeze for the 2nd out of the inning.
Second play defensively for this Aggie group, just bending your leg and staying low. And you've got to, that's the one you got to protect against, is the sharp hit right at you. You mentioned the reason Gavin Grahovac is at first base is because how good Partita is at third, but he's a third baseman by trade, moved over to the first all-SEC defensive team. Gavin Grahovac over there doing a nice job.
Bo Durbin now 1 for 3. Batting with the bases empty here in the top of the 7th. Gavin Lyons gave up the solo home run after coming into the game. He got a strikeout and a flyout quickly, and then he gave up the solo shot to Duran. And since then, only 1 base runner allowed, and this one's chopped out to second base. And the Cardinals go 1-2-3. Time to stretch at Bluebell. 5-3, Lamar in front. Welcome back to NCAA Baseball Regionals presented by Capital One. The NCAA Regionals coverage for all 16 sites continues tomorrow on ESPN Plus and the ESPN app. For more information, visit ncaa.com, the home of all NCAA championships. Well, the day is done for Chris Olivier. He goes 6 innings and gives up 3 earned runs. It's now Julius Carpio coming into the ball game, the senior, making his 21st appearance of the season. Todd?
5 saves for Julius Carpio. I mean, I guess that's their closer, 21st appearance. 36 strikeouts in only 42 innings. So again, not overpowering, a low 90s fastball. Going to use a ton of benders, slider and the curveball. About 50% to the left-handers and right-handers, and both lefties and righties hitting about 260 off of Julius Carpio.
Will Davis told us yesterday we're going to do anything we can to win game 1, and then we'll worry about game 2 if it happens. Chris Olivier, 6 innings, 4 hits, 3 earned, 5 strikeouts and 3 walks, hit a couple of batters, 95 pitches, job well done.
Only 4 hits against this powerful Aggie offense. That's really impressive. 2 outings in a row.
He can be the winner. He cannot be the loser in this one. Gavin Grahovac, who led off the 3rd inning with a solo home run, goes after the first pitch and fouls it straight back to start this at bat.
First pitch in the 5th inning for Gavin Grahovac, and he hammered it to center field. 20th home run of the year, and that's got the Aggies going in that inning. They would have scored 3 runs. Another home run by Chris Hakopian 2 hitters later, and that's where we stand. Lamar with 2-run lead at 5-3.
Home run of the year, 45th career home run for Grahovac. 23 as a freshman. 1 for 2 today. Making 1 for 3. He goes down swinging, chased that one out of the zone, and a good start there for Carpio.
Man, that's tight. It's a nice slider. Julius Carpio. And if you can't pick up the spin, it looks like a fastball, so you go after it as if it's down the middle, and then it just moves away from the barrel. Carpio gets the first out.
Now Caden Sorrell had a shift on from the defense of Lamar. 3 infielders on the right side of the second base back. Sorrell lifts this one, though, down the left field line, and that one's going to fall in foul territory and then kick up into the seats down on the patio area. I guess that's a small berm just in front of the patio. Not a bad spot to hang out on a Friday afternoon. Bottom 7, Lamar in front 5-3. Sorrell hit by a pitch with some controversy. Back in the 5th inning, Lamar appealed the call of hit by pitch, and after replay, the call was upheld. Got a double in the 3rd, hit by pitch in the 5th.
A lot of pedigree in the Sorrell family. Dad Greg was a 37th rounder by the Red Sox back in 1990. Both granddads played in the big leagues, Billy Sorrell and Tom Griffin. Tom Griffin was the 4th overall pick by the Astros at 66, so a lot of baseball talk in that family.
This one gets away. Take a look at the lineage for Caden Sorrell. How about that? When his grandfather Billy made his big league debut, he was the 10,000th player to do so.
They make hats that give you your exact number that you were in the big leagues. So I was around Jeff Cirillo a few weeks ago, and yeah, he has the hat, whatever he was, the 17,351, whatever it was. I need to get one. I haven't gotten that yet.
Do you want to know what number you were?
I'd like to know that, but I don't. But that's what you love about Caden Sorrell. He's going to be a top draft pick in July. Go get him in center field, all defensive team in the SEC. Big power, hits for an average. It was hit .337 with 12 last year before he got hurt, 26 starts. And just the lineage and everything that goes along with Caden Sorrell, left-handed hitter.
This one lifted foul, third base side, and that's going to just get out of play. Boy, Taylor covered a ton of ground. With the shift on, he was up the middle from his shortstop spot and just dead sprint all the way to the wall. I think the wind may have held it up just a touch. Look how much ground he's got to cover.
That's the second time this has happened in this at bat. Got him in the shift, which tells me that they're going to start throwing a lot of curveballs to Caden Sorrell. They don't believe he can stay back and hit it to the backside of the field. If you're a hitter, you know that. That's part of the guess process, thinking along with the pitching.
I was hoping to get you a quick answer. I don't think Google understood my question. They just say Todd Walker wore number 12 throughout the majority of his career.
Probably had a bunch of question marks by it. Like what?
I am told 16,894, Ben. Well done.
Got to write that down. Never heard that before.
Sorrell, what a good at bat. Spoiled a couple of pretty good pitches and draws the walk. And that brings Chris Hakopian to the plate, and he represents the tying run in this game here at the bottom of the seventh.
The top three hitters for Aggies, I mean, the quality at bats are off the charts, almost 60% between Hakopian, Grahovac, and Sorrell. What that means is every time you reach place, plus hard hit outs, plus sacrifices, and Caden Sorrell at 59% of his plate appearances. The quality at bats coming from that kid, and all three for really at the top of this lineup are elite.
Copian with a fly out to right in the first inning, a walk in the third, and a two-run hammer in the fifth inning. Took a 5-1 game to 5-3. That's where we stand now. The home run for Hakopian was his 10th of the season, took his season RBI total up to 35. Hitting in the DH spot. Royo now playing second base after the collision earlier this season out in right field. This one in on the hand, slow roller right side, picked up, no play. Duran had to go, what, nearly 100 feet just to get to that ball. Hakopian walking gingerly as he was really hustling down the bag, and he didn't aggravate anything getting down to first base.
You do the shift because you look at spray charge from Chris Hakopian, who predominantly pulls the ball, but this is what I don't like about it. If you have a ball that should be an out and not, again, you got to pitch to it, and see if he stepped on the bag a little awkwardly.
Hakopian going to stay in at first base. He is not 100%, but certainly giving it everything he's got. And here's Jake Dewar with first and second and one down. So a one-out walk to Sorrell, and then an infield single for Chris Hakopian. With a big swing there. He's got 6 home runs this year and has driven in 47. Couple of home runs, scoring all 3 runs of the day for Texas A&M in the bottom of the 5th. How about this from Los Angeles? St. Mary's gets it done against the #1 overall seed. They win 3-2 over UCLA. Just the 7th loss of the season for the Bruins.
Isn't that what you love about this time of year? Just things happen that you can't even imagine. I would never have thought UCLA could lose the opener of that regional. Auburn getting beat by Milwaukee.
That is 3 1 seeds that have gone down today. Little Rock over Southern Miss and Hattiesburg. Milwaukee over Auburn on the Plains. And now in Westwood, St. Mary's gets the win over the overall #1 seed at UCLA. Now, it'll be interesting, Todd, to track as we go deeper into the tournament. Do any of those 3 teams have what it takes to come all the way back and advance to a super regional?
The Power 4 conference have more depth on the mound, so you would say it's more likely a team like UCLA can climb back.
Full count, and it hit him. And Texas A&M will have the bases loaded. Dewar was ready to jog down to first. It was going to be first base regardless. Dewar would have preferred to just take the ball instead of to get hit by it. So walk, single, hit by pitch, all with 1 out, and Nico Partita coming to the plate, but not before a mound visit.
2-run lead, 3-2 curveball from Carpio. And I mean, it's easier said than done to challenge the hitters on that particular spot, maybe throw a fastball in the outside corner, but they elect to try to get the swing and miss, and instead hit Jake Dewar, and they load the bases.
Travis Lutz is throwing in the bullpen for Lamar, the right-hander who's made 8 starts this year. One big spot for Texas A&M as the freshman Nico Partita comes to the plate. 12 home runs, 41 runs batted in. He'll hit here with the bases loaded and 1 out in the bottom of the 7th. Texas A&M has trailed the entire game.
Carpio throws 60% strikes with his fastball, 50% strikes to left-handers on the curveball.
Right on right here. And the first pitch misses away for ball 1. Partita shakes his head as he walks away. You remember Partita back in the 3rd inning, really frustrated with a called 3rd strike. He's ahead in the count here, 2 balls and no strikes. Nowhere to put Partita. There's a strike. It's 2-1.
Not a bad take. Now you don't know what's coming at 2-1. He's got to get through this pitch, but you get to 3-1 or 2-2, then you have a better idea of what's coming. So it's all a process of thinking through each pitch.
3-1.
Now he's seen the 2-0 fastball, and that's what you gear up for here at 3-1. He's already badly missed with the 3-2 curveball, so you could eliminate that as a hitter. And now you're just looking dead red. Get the timing right.
Down and away, ball 4. Run will come home, an RBI for Partita, and it's 5-4. Pretty patient at bat there for Partita, willing to take the walk to score a run, not necessarily trying to be a hero right there.
Making Julius Carpio throw in a high leverage situation. And Partita takes the 2-0, and at 3-2 or 3-1, what a nice take. Ball was in the zone halfway to the plate and then drops out of the zone, and Partita able to follow it all the way in and hands the ball over to, or the bat over to Bear Harrison,
who is looking for his first hit of the ball game. Hakopian at 3rd, Dewar at 2nd, Partita at 1st, and a strike 1 to Bear Harrison. Harrison hit by a pitch in the 2nd inning, struck out in the 4th, pop out in the 5th. Aggies within 1. They trailed 5-0. Harrison in the air to shallow center field. Caught by Tracy. Tagging at 3rd. Hakopian. Here comes the throw. Not in time. And we are tied 5-5. Even with the somewhat limited Hakopian able to tag and come home to score.
Starting to liven up here at College Station. Bubbles flying. Nice job by Bear Harrison. Got jammed a little bit, but gets the job done. Sacrifice fly, puts the tying run in for the Aggies.
We remind you that Texas A&M has not overcome a 5-run deficit this season. In fact, they've not done that since 2019 against West Virginia. They've come back from 5 down today to tie this game and bring Jorian Wilson to the plate. Wilson goes after the first pitch, a little tardy on the fastball, and he lines it foul.
It's been a little rough for Jorian Wilson, 2 hits in his last 3 games, but this feels like a situation where he can feed off of the momentum they have going in this inning.
Dewar at second, Partita at first. Wagner did a good job to bounce out of the crouch and keep that one from sailing to the backstop.
What an effort. From down in the zone with the mitt all the way above his head.
1-1. Swing and a miss. Got him with the breaking ball. Ball and 2 strikes now to Jorian Wilson.
That's a tough one. Low and in, you got to pull the hands in first and then try to get the barrel to that ball in the inside corner. Nice tight spin from Julius Carpio, who's 1 strike away from getting out of this.
30th pitch of the inning. Strike 3 called. Jorian Wilson goes away looking. The Aggies strand a couple here in the 7th, but not before adding 2 runs and tying this game at 5. Lamar and A&M headed to the 8th. New ball game, 5-5 with a train coming by as we go to the 8th inning at Bluebell Park in the College Station Regional. Game 1 of the day, the 1 seed Texas A&M, the 4 seed Lamar out of the Southland Conference. A couple of home runs in the top of the 4th inning. Lamar stretched the lead out to 5-0 at the bottom of the 5th. Texas A&M got a solo home run and a 2-run shot and then tied it on a sacrifice fly in the bottom of the 7th by Bear Harrison, his 34th run batted in of the year, to get us to 5-5. And now Texas A&M turning to the best arm they have out of the bullpen. That is Clayton Freshcorn.
12 saves on the year. That's a lot. 95 miles an hour on the fastball. He carves up right-hand hitters, only 200 against. Fastball, cutters, change to left-handers. Fastball, cutter, slider to right-handers. He knows what he's doing, and this is the guy that they want on the mound right here. 26th appearance.
Hey, Todd,
5 walks, 10-1 strikeout to walk.
I was just saying, I'm not a big math guy, but I think that's 10-1, right?
That's strong. If it's 3-1, it's impressive, right? He's 10-1 strikeout to walk. A lot of power and accurate.
Freshcorn will deal with 3, 4, and 5. A.J. Taylor, Jake Wagner, Hector Rodriguez for Lamar, as the Cardinals, who have gone scoreless in their last 3 at-bats, try to retake the lead in this ball game, and Taylor goes after the first pitch and fouls it back. Taylor with an RBI single in the first, an RBI double in the third. He flew out in the fifth, 2 for 3 today. Shows bunt and takes outside for ball one. Taylor going to adjust the leg guard there. They'll reset the pitch clock, and now we are ready to go in the eighth. The 1-1 in the air. Shallow center field. Coming in is Sorrell. Easy one for him. Coming up next on the SEC Network and the ESPN app, the road to Omaha continues with another NCAA baseball regional game. It's Alabama hosting cross-state rival Alabama State. The Hornets trying to get one in Tuscaloosa. Tuscaloosa and Montgomery, where Alabama State lives, separated by about 100 miles. Alabama had a little help earlier today from USC Upstate, who knocked off Oklahoma State. And so the 2 seed now has a loss in that Tuscaloosa regional. We've seen some surprising results today.
It's always the case. If you're talking about Alabama, they've got 3 good frontline starters. The offense is kind of the question mark there. Justin LeBron, the shortstop, one of the superstars of the league. And yeah, the fact that the 2 seed gets knocked off in your regional makes you feel pretty good about yourself as a 1.
Pretty good scoop over at first base by Grahovic on that long throw from Kellner.
And I love that Kellner kept it down. A lot of times, you know, when you catch the ball on the backhand, your front shoulder goes up, and you have a tendency to throw that one in the stands. So you got to fight it to keep it down and give your first baseman a chance. Like Grahovic there is really good around the bag. Makes it look a little easy.
This one popped up. That's Kellner going back, and he makes the catch. Clayton Freshcorn making easy work of the Cardinals in the top of the 8th. Aggies with a chance to take the lead. The NCAA Baseball Regionals are presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet? College Station Regional. Off in the distance, you see Kyle Field. We are inside Bluebell Park. Big crowd that has braved the heat this afternoon. Got a lot of fans out trying to cool themselves. And a lot of fans out.
No pun intended. Very nice.
They are looking to get loud here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Ben Royo leading off, and he rips it down the left field line. That is a fair ball. Royo hits the bag at first. He will cruise into second base with a leadoff double. Couple of feet inside the chalk for Royo, and the Aggies trying to take their first lead of the day.
We talked about how hot Ben Royo has been since putting the lineup. Now 15 hits in his last 7 games. That's a 7-game hit streak. And not a bigger time to get a double than right here in the 8th for Ben Royo, leadoff double.
Call that a top spin hook down the left field line.
Perfect placement right inside the line, yeah. Game of inches, they say.
Offensive meeting for Texas A&M with Boston Kellner.
This would be Michael Early asking kind of what the boys want to do, but clearly a bunt situation in a tie ball game in the bottom of the 8th.
All right.
It also turned the lineup over to 1-2-3.
Interesting geography around home plate. We noticed yesterday being down on the field that if you want to get a bunt fair here, you've just about got to put it in the grass because the dirt all slopes off. There's like a little crown there. And Texas A&M is going to pinch hit here, presumably for their best bunter.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, you basically got to bunt it back toward the pitcher's mound, probably not directly at it. Our producer Ben got on his hands and knees and noticed that there was the crown in front of home plate. So you definitely have to play the field. And this is clearly indicating that they are going to bunt. Benton, first base, up in the grass.
Travis Chestnut from the right side. Shows bunt, he bunts it right back to the mound, and it's bobbled. Carpio then throws it away. Royo will come around to step on home plate, and Texas A&M takes a 6-5 lead. And that play from Carpio from bad to worse on what was not a perfect bunt by any stretch of the imagination.
No, right back at him like we talked about. And A&M knows how to play this field, so he knew he could put it perfectly down the line. It rolled foul. But Carpio, it all speeds up on Carpio once he misses. And just the wild throw over to first base allows the go-ahead run for Aggies.
So Chestnut does his job in that he gets the bunt down, picks up the sacrifice. The error will allow Ben Royo to come around to score. And now Gavin Grahovac fouled that one off of his foot. And it rolled all the way to the third base back.
That's why a lot of teams don't put on bunt plays in college baseball, because they just want you to get the out. Like, stay under control, just make the play. You know, third baseman Rodriguez had to read it and stay at home, so there really wasn't a play at third base, but Carpio just picks it up, and once he dropped it, he hurried it all up and slung it down the right field line.
Grahovac. Carpio a throw over. And Todd, even after the bobble, if he takes his time there, he's got time still to throw the runner out.
That's why I'm saying that it's in your mind, it speeds up as an infielder. You don't necessarily see it because you know you got to go quickly. And you're right. If he'd have stayed under control, he would have definitely got the out at first. But it speeds up in your mind, and then you just feel like you got to be quicker than you need to be. And that's a lot on double plays too, up the middle. You know, the ball dictates whether or not you can turn the double play. And in that case, when he dropped it, you know, you just think that you got to hurry.
That was just the 10th sacrifice of the year for Texas A&M. They certainly picked their spots.
Well, with Clayton Frescore on the mound, you're playing for 1 run at this point.
Yeah.
And Lamar only has 3 outs now to play with A&M having their best pitcher on the mound.
And Frescore came in the 8th inning and threw 7 pitches.
Well, we told you he'd be accurate. And the combination of that and mixing his pitches, he can throw 3 or 4 pitches for strikes at any count. He's tough.
If Texas A&M fans were hoping for a leisurely afternoon at the ballpark, it has been anything but. However, the home team has taken the lead here in the bottom of the 8th inning.
Well, that's a good point. Whoever wins between Texas State and USC are loving the fact that Clayton Frescore got put in this game. If the Aggies hold on and win.
number of appearances Fresh Corn has had. If Texas A&M were to hold on here and he throws somewhere in the neighborhood of 20, 25 pitches, you wouldn't think that they would be
A bounce back.
yeah, running back out the next day.
Everybody's different.
This ball ripped foul down the left field line. Grahovac out in front of that one.
I would say in this day and age, they're less likely to do that than they were 30 years ago, because now you got more voices involved, you know, agents and parents, and you're worried about the future of some of these better prospects. And so I would say no, but again, every pitcher is different.
Clayton Fresh Corn has had 4 times this year where he's thrown on back-to-back days.
Okay.
Hasn't been every weekend, but has done that.
Well, and to clarify, yeah, we're talking about tomorrow again, win or lose, but he definitely would come back in this tournament, you know.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And so we're just focused on tomorrow, and that's an arm you need as many times as you can get him out there this weekend.
Full count to Grahovac, and he fouls this one off. Spoiled a decent pitch there. Most recent time that Fresh Corn has gone back-to-back days, final weekend of the regular season. Texas A&M at Mississippi State. He went 3 innings on May 15th. Came back and gave them 2 innings on May 16th. Picked up the save in game 2 and the win in game 3. Fouled again.
Travis Chestnut 8 for 8 on stolen bases. That's why they're paying attention to him. And that's just with 13 starts. Dude can run.
Kevin Grahovac is thirsty. Go energy shot in the middle.
First. Take a break.
Like, all right,
Take a hydration break mid AB.
I am 8 pitches into this at bat. I need a little energy shot. It's hot.
I used to have to adjust my contacts out in Colorado mid at bat, but I've never seen taking a little Gatorade break.
Fifth trip to the plate today for Grahovac. He's got 1 hit. He's been on base a couple of times. And they continue to keep an eye on Travis Chestnut. He laid down the sacrifice bunt that ultimately allowed Ben Royo to come around to score.
Yeah, and he's going. I mean, it's not necessarily steal the bag, it's just stay out of the double play.
Chestnut a perfect 8 for 8 this season. There he goes. And the pitch is low and away for ball 4. Result at second base does not matter. Our second base umpire, Joe Harris, took a peek back home to make sure that was ball 4 before he made a call out at second base. And Texas A&M with first and second. And that was a 6.5 minute at bat for.
Well, no wonder he got thirsty.
Gavin Grahovac. Looks like he might be fighting a cramp also. Lamar going to make a pitching change, trailing by a run and trying to keep the deficit at just 1 here in the 8th. Southern Cal will play in the nightcap against Texas State. That one's scheduled for a 9 o'clock Eastern time, 8 o'clock Central. First pitch, second game of the day. Southern Cal the 2 seed, Texas State the 3 seed. Got the Trojans ready to go. Nathan Darden, the new pitcher, into the game for Lamar. He will inherit a runners on, nobody out situation, making his 25th appearance of the year. 30 strikeouts, 16 walks.
Fastball, cutter, slider, change. More changeups to left-handers. 200 points higher left-handed hitters are hitting than right-handed hitters off Nathan Darden. And he's going to face a big left-handed hitter right here in Caden Sorrell.
Pitching change may have been good for Gavin Grahovac to get hydrated a bit during the break. Here's Caden Sorrell. A couple of runs scored, 1 hit in the game. It was a double back in the 3rd inning. About 90 degrees at first pitch with a real feel or feels like temperature of 96, currently at 95. Sun's popped back out after overcast for much of the day. This one gets away to the backstop, and both base runners will move up 90 feet. Chestnut goes to 3rd, Grahovac to 2nd. Boy, don't you know Texas A&M would love a swing of the bat to make this lead 3 instead of 1.
Gavin Grahovac does not look comfortable out there. Hopping around on his left. They're going to call timeout. Yeah, something's wrong.
The first base umpire, John Budka Jr., to his credit, saw that Grahovac is struggling.
That's got to be a cramp. Yeah, as much water, liquids they're trying to put down Gavin Grahovac. You know, the excitement plays into that as well. It is hot outside, but the combination of the two, and yeah, that's a cramp. This is Gavin Grahovac at first base, trying to stretch it out a little bit. Yeah, thigh cramp. It bit on him when he got over to second base.
Yeah. Thigh or maybe hamstring.
Well, I don't know if he'd be bending his leg backwards if it was a hamstring cramp. That seems counterintuitive.
Yeah, got what was probably a vitamin shot in the middle of that at bat of some sort that he took quickly over by the dugout, went to the dugout for water or sports drink of some sort during the pitching change, and now trying to work it out there at second base.
Yeah, I'm thinking Gavin Grahovac hopes it's not a close play on a base hit to home. He's hoping his boy Caden Sorrell hits one out.
If you've ever had that Charlie Horse middle of the night feel and a cramp, you know, a calf or whatever, you know when it locks up, it's like there's nothing you can do.
I've had them all, and once it starts, you're right, it's hard to stop. Get some pickle juice or liquid IV.
2 balls and a strike to Caden Sorrell. Bottom of the 8th inning, Texas A&M has taken a 6-5 lead. It's now 3-1 to Sorrell, and I think you've got a magnifying glass that's showing you even more just how good Chris Olivier was early in this ball game.
No, he was awesome. But the Aggies just kept pushing on the door, and they finally broke through in the 5th. And they had traffic every inning. And that's what happens when you put pressure on another team.
And that is another walk. So new pitcher, but same result. Royo with the double to start the inning. Sacrifice bunt from Chestnut with the throwing error from Carpio allowed Royo to come around to score. Grahovac and Sorrell. Back-to-back walks now at the top of the order, and Chris Hakopian coming to the plate for Texas A&M. There was a three-quarter swing from Hakopian, came up empty. Last three at-bats for Hakopian after flying out in the first. Walk, two-run, home run, single, pair of runs scored.
Pretty big job protecting the two big ones, Gavin Grahovac and Caden Sorrell in the lineup. And Chris Hakopian, although his average didn't translate as much from Maryland, where he hit 370 last year, right above 300 this year. But again, the plate discipline for this kid is another level. Only chased 15% of the time. That's elite. 12% strikeouts to plate appearances, so he can handle the bat, knows the strike zone. And this is an example of just being patient and being able to calm down. That's it.
How's that one away? Like just a small moment of zen for Hakopian
That's right.
at the middle
We
of the
can all
at-bat.
feel it. That's right. But that's what it takes, like a golf swing. You know, you can't use this energy in your favor. You have to stay, keep the heartbeat at a minimal.
Just 5 hits for Texas A&M, and that another good take for Hakopian, just off the plate, maybe a touch low, and the count full for the 3-hole hitter for the Aggies.
What a great spot to be in as a hitter. Not a great spot for Nathan Darden, who has to challenge Chris Hakopian at this spot.
In the air to center field. Tracy coming in, tagging at third base is Chestnut. He'll go head first slide, and the Aggies will take at least a 2-run lead to the 9th.
Just missed by Chris Hakopian, but does get the job done. Aggies extend their lead to 2 with only 1 out. And this is a tough stretch for Nathan Darden. Just face the 1-2-3 hitters in this lineup: 4, 5, 6, Dewar, Partita, and Barry Harrison coming up.
Jake Dewar had a single back in the first inning. Since then, a couple of flyouts and a hit by pitch. He goes after the first one and fouls it off. Jake Dewar, the senior from Flower Mound, Texas. Couple of years at TCU. Last year at FAU down in Boca. He's ahead in the count here, 2 balls and a strike. Had a season-ending injury in mid-March a year ago. Played exclusively in right field and at the DH spot for the Owls last year. Dewar now ahead in the count, 3-1.
Another hitter's count, and that's a tough way to live against this Aggie offense. Nathan Darden has to come up with something special here.
Dewar today making his 39th start in left field. Gets a swing and a miss. Full count now to Jake Dewar.
He's got some good tilt on that fastball down in the zone. And Dewar just swings over the top of it. Got to get by one more pitch, though.
1 out in the inning, first and second for Texas A&M. They scored 3 in the 5th, 2 in the 7th, 2 here in the 8th. Dewar able to get a piece to just stay alive.
Talk about what we did before all these nets. You know, these fans had to be heads up. I mean, these balls come in hot, and most of the time, you know, fans are talking, not paying attention, and these nets have saved a lot of lives.
There's a swing and a miss. Big strikeout there from Darden. Dewar down on strikes for the second out of the inning.
And that was special. Nathan Darden. When the hitter knows a fastball's coming and you can still blow it by him, that's impressive. And the middle in is what got Jake Dewar. Just middle in and heat. It's just hard to get the barrel to that ball. You're looking out over the plate. When you get tied up, it's just difficult.
Here is Nico Partita. 0 for 3 today. Takes up and in, ball 1. He did draw a bases loaded walk in the 7th inning. When you look at the help that A&M has been given today by this pitching staff from Lamar, 10 of those 18 base runners by either walk or hit by pitch. And the difference is Chris Olivier early in the ball game was able to work his way out of the jams with the walks and the HBPs, and that has not been the case in the later stages of this game. Ball and a strike to Partita.
Lamar has out-hit Texas A&M 8-6. They just haven't had the same opportunities. Like you mentioned, the story of this game is just the free passes for Texas A&M. And like you mentioned, finally breaking through in the 5th. 3 runs in the 5th, 2 in the 7th, and again 2 in the 8th.
Partita on the ground, fielded by the second baseman Duran. He'll step on the bag to end the inning. Lamar looking for 2 in the 9th to keep this game going. Let's take a look at our Capital One rewarding performance. We go to Gavin Grahovac in the 5th inning, the solo home run, followed by Chris Hakopian with a 2-run shot. It finally got this Texas A&M offense going.
4 innings they were threatening, and then in the 5th, leadoff home run by Gavin Grahovac. And there he is. Gavin just cramping and stayed in there to run, but not going to go out for the 9th, play defense.
So Travis Chestnut, who pinch hit as a bunter, is over at short. There you see Blake Bender up. Okay, Travis Chestnut at second base now. Moves all around. You got Chestnut at second.
Royo over at short.
Royo makes the move to short. And Bender up now, the first baseman. 2-2 from Clayton Freshcorn.
Oh.
Foul tip held on behind home plate. Harrison, and Freshcorn says, I don't really care who you put back there. I'm just going to strike this guy out and get the first out of the ninth.
He's used to that for sure. And nice first out by Clayton Freshcorn. I mean, you just got a lot to look at as a hitter. And you got arms and knees and elbows coming at you, and then it's 95. And the slider is next level for Clayton Freshcorn.
Lamar going with a pinch hitter here. Lane Sparks will get a chance to swing the bat in place of Valen Valentine. Sparks with 5 home runs on the year. This is the 53rd game that he's played in. He's got 33 starts. Went after the first pitch, pops it up left side. Arteta makes the catch in fair territory, and there are 2 down in the top of the 9th inning. Texas A&M an out away from surviving this opening game in the College Station Regional.
Surviving is the key word. Again, not the best performance by Texas A&M, but if they are to hold on, that's a big win for the #1 seed.
Ground ball to second. It's off the glove of Chestnut. He'll not be able to make the throw. That's where Royo had been playing all night. Texas A&M cannot record that 3rd out. Lamar not dead yet. That brings the tying run to the plate here in the top of the 9th inning.
Yeah, it's tough. Chestnut getting thrown over there for this inning, and it's a tough hop, a little top spin. That ball was hit hard. Tries to do the short hop. Not able to handle it and loses his glove in the process. So that brings the tying run to the plate.
So the E4 allows the tying run to come to the plate. As Todd said, that is the 2nd error of the day by Texas A&M.
Kevin Durant with a little bat handling. Flipping it around, and already a home run in this game.
Braden Evans hustling down the line there. He may have either stepped awkwardly on the bag or be dealing with a cramp issue as well. (7-5) ball game, 2 outs, top of the 9th. Texas A&M trailed 5-0 in this game. They have not overcome a 5-run deficit since 2019. Did so against West Virginia. That was 7 years ago. They have overcome a 5-run deficit, and they're now trying to finish the deal. Kevin Durant, who has a home run in this game. The 9-hole hitter takes ball 1. Durant hit his 6th home run of the year back in the 4th inning, a solo shot that made it 5-0 Lamar. An appeal, and Durant not able to hold up. That's strike 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Kevin Durant.
Freshcorn giving up 5 home runs in this season.
It has been a good day to hit. Both of these teams with a pair of home runs. Rand goes after that one. Fouls the 94-mile-an-hour fastball straight back. Lamar down to its final strike. The winner of this goes to the 1-0 game tomorrow night. Loser will play in the elimination game that happens at 3 o'clock local time tomorrow. Freshcorn delivers. Outside, ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. Runner at first, tying run at the plate for Kevin Durant, who steps away to have something in his eye.
Well, and he needs to focus on the hitter. Braden Evans at first isn't going anywhere. You don't want to get thrown out for the third. Give Kevin Durant a chance to tie this game up.
2-2 on the ground to short, fielded by Royo, flips to second base where Chestnut is covering, and Texas A&M wins game 1 of the College Station Regional.
Well, it wasn't how they drew it up. They lost Shane Sadeo after 3 innings, their starter. Only 6 hits for the Aggies, but they pull it off, and they're in the 1-0 game tomorrow.
They will play tomorrow night against the winner of our next game, which comes your way at 8 o'clock Central Time on ESPNU. For Todd Walker and our entire crew, I'm Richard Cross. Aggies win it. Time to send you to Tuscaloosa. Here is Derek Jones.